Hey guys, found Jigs and Bigs when I first started fishing. You guys are awesome, giving the best advice and guidance. Kind of molded me into the fisherman I am today. Thank you for everything, and you guys are doing a great job. Thank you.
What's up, J+B's? It's Armando here for the Bass Kayak and Beers podcast. I freaking love everything you do. It is the right amount of debauchery and education. The ratio makes me smarter and stupider at the same time. I'm a better person and a worse person at the same time. I love it. It's the right mixture. It's the yin to the yang that I need in my life. Keep doing what you're doing.
Well, Jigs and Bigs. This is Chet from Chicopee. I haven't seen you game show lovers since Nathan Bill's episode 100. When Sean the fisherman asked me to hold on to his sausage in the men's bathroom. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I do love a good kielbasa. Yeah. 200 episodes. That's an accomplishment. You know what else is an accomplishment? I just caught my personal best this morning. 78-inch largemouth bass out of Lake Thompson. It's got to be 100 pounds. Maybe more. I don't know. Seriously though, guys, you suck.
Hey boys, Bobby, Sean, Joe, what's up, man? Hey, it's Tim over in Denver, Colorado. Timmy B. Just wanted to give a shout out. Congratulations on 200 episodes, guys. Hope you have a great party. Keep on doing what you're doing, man. Love listening to y'all. Peace.
Hey, Jigs and Bigs, it's Roadkill and Nick. Wish I could be there for the 200th episode recording just because damn, that food lineup looks amazing. But I'm for sure going to be there at the Columbus Fishing Expo and I can't wait to see you.
Fellas, what's going on? It's your buddy One Last Cast with Gilly here. I just wanted to say I love the show, Spinners and Smallies. Congratulations on the 2000... What? That's Spinners and Smallies? Oh, it's Jigs and Bigs. Yeah, Jigs and Bigs. My bad. 200 episodes. That's like really awesome. Congratulations, guys, and keep up the good work. All jokes aside, love what you do. Here's many more successful episodes in the future. Talk to you soon.
Come on, guys, make some noise. Alrighty, guys, we got an amazing show lined up for you guys tonight. Jigs and Bigs. It's episode 201. We're celebrating the fact that we made it for 200 whole episodes, week after week after week, all the way back in April 8th of 2020. It all kind of went down. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you so much. We have an amazing show lined up. I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll be right back right after this. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for coming out and being a big part of this week's show. This has been an amazing night. We've been planning since, really, we started the planning for this in August. I know you guys can't tell that, but we started putting this thing together in about like late July, August, and it means the world to us that you guys are here. Of course, I'm joined by the one and only Sean the Fisherman, who has been with me for the vast majority of these episodes, and over the last year, we've got Who the Fuck is Joe Brown in the house with us. Go ahead, give these guys a round of applause for putting up with my shit for so many years. I can't tell you how much I appreciate them. They're absolutely amazing, and you guys... We don't want to do that. That's just a mess. Appreciate you guys very, very much for coming out and doing everything. You guys that listen, the jig heads that are here, jig heads. A round of applause for our jig heads. For those that don't know who the jig heads are, our jig heads are the folks that actually subscribe monthly to see the show actually get developed. They also get some special access when we're able to provide it to them, and some extra content as well over on our Patreon. If you guys want to become a jig head, you can do so at jigsandbigs.com. We have such a great show. Guys, are you excited?
I'm full of meat.
I am full of meat.
I'm about to start sweating.
More than usual, I'm full of meat.
Yeah, we ate a lot of meat.
That was a lot of meat. By the way, big round of applause for this amazing game dinner here. We're at the Munich House in Chicopee, Massachusetts. These guys are amazing. We love them, and it's great. It's good to be here. I'm very, very, very excited about everything we've got lined up for you guys tonight. Let's first and foremost, let's go ahead and talk about the reason why we're here. Like the big reason why it is that we're here. What's going on here? Well, we're here. One, to celebrate this amazing show, but also we want to thank you guys for allowing us to support Veterans Inc. Sort of the bigger story here that, I don't know if some of you guys have maybe listened to the past episode. We had Christian DeLuzio representing Veterans Inc. on the show, giving a little bit of information about what Veterans Inc. does, what it really does mean to the veterans community, not just locally, because there are pocket offices all around the country, and they're really kind of helping out those vets that, for lack of a better term, they fall through the cracks sometimes, where other organizations sometimes fail these folks. Veterans Inc. is there to kind of put it together, to intervene before it gets that bad. And we applaud them. Thank you very much, Veterans Inc., for everything that you do. In fact, Sean the Fisherman, for those that don't know, Sean the Fisherman for quite some time actually had worked with Veterans Inc. to, kind of do the good work that they do. And it's when we talked about who we could possibly raise some funds for, the answer was obvious. Sean had pointed this out directly, and we said, we're going to go ahead and go for it, and it's going to be great. So we're very excited that you guys are here for that. We appreciate that. So with that said, I think we should recap our weeks. And I don't mean everybody in the room. You guys are off the hook. We're going to talk about what's been going on this week, what's been happening. Have you guys done anything fishy, like remotely, like organized tackle at this point? Because this is a shitty time of year to be an angler. It is.
That's like what it's all about right now. Is I just go down into the bait dungeon and just stare at it and don't actually, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. You just got to be there.
Yeah, we got that skim ice going on to where you can't do anything with it. It's you can't ice fish. You can't throw the boat in. So.
And it does suck when you've got this in-between window where there's no safe ice locally, so you can't take advantage of maybe that little bit of ice fishing gear you have. And the water that isn't frozen is so temperamental when you have rain that your rivers are all blown out, that's no good. Yeah. That was my story this week. Sean, how about you? Sean, you may not have had some fishy stuff going on, but last night was a big night for you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that first. Last night, so the high school basketball team that I coach for, we had a big game last night, and I've talked about one of the players on the team who's really advanced for his age as far as basketball goes, and he made us forget last week that he had a half court shot to kill a buzzer, and he had a 3/4 court shot last night, and you could kind of see the wind get sucked out of the other side, and it was just
felt good. Huh?
Yeah, well, it was on our side. If they'd have done it to us, it would have hurt. But
sure,
no, that was really good. Obviously, been a lot of basketball, but I did have something. I think I can talk about now. It's been fishy. It's been building since Christmas. Oh. I have a small staging area now in my house, right outside my garage, where I have all of my electronic components that are being set up, waiting to switch my live scope from the NAR over to the Native Ultimate that I picked up last year. So I'm waiting. It's slowly piling up. I got a couple more pieces of hardware to pick up from good old Amazon, and I should be good to go. But that's about as fishy as I got.
It's, there's nothing wrong with that. My week this week, my week was truthfully dedicated 100% to this, but I did manage to fool around a little bit in that BFS world that I've kind of been getting into. For those of our guests that are here that aren't aware of what it is I'm talking about, BFS is sort of a corner of fishing that's known as, it's technically called a bait finesse system. Just throwing ultralight baits on bait casting gear, things like that. Pretty specialized, but I've been diving in like head on with all of this stuff, and it's been awesome. What I've been doing that's been pretty cool is I discovered, you guys have heard of Mule Baits before? It's a bait company out of Wisconsin.
I have.
It's a guy named Ethan. He's got a YouTube channel called Fish Everything, and I've gotten to know his stuff through Ramon Outdoors and also through Aggressively Average Anglers. Those guys are big supporters of Mule. Mule makes some really cool tungsten jigs called these workhorse jigs, and they've got a tiny, like I think it's a number 6 hook, 1/8 ounce, and they also make plastics that are that super stretchy, durable Elastec style plastics, little mini paddle tails and things like that. But they have an accessory, and this brought so much joy to my heart. This accessory is what they call a Bronco blade. And a Bronco blade it's basically a beetle spin. So for everybody out there who is entered or is considering being entered into the Jigs and Bigs multi-species scavenger hunt series that's kicking off in April, get ready, y'all. Bobby Roast Beef has come to play. And those little species, I'm going to get them. It's going to happen. Very excited about that. So
everyone here is going to sign up, right?
Yeah, you should.
Everyone.
You should.
Everyone.
Joe means business. He's wearing a Fresh Baits hat backwards and has a neck tattoo now. He is not fooling around. He is not fooling around, ladies and gentlemen. And if that wasn't enough cred, it is a Mexican neck tattoo.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Right in Mexico.
My wife is just so jealous because she lasered her neck tattoo off.
And we just
That's real talk.
And we just ate half the zoo. Like I was thinking about it. I'm like,
I did half the zoo.
I'm like, holy shit. I was like, I am eating all the animals that my kids want, like, are the first animals my kids want to go see at the zoo. I was like, I can't tell them.
Our bartender might know. These were all sourced from Southwick Zoo, correct? She's giving us a thumbs up, everybody. Yes, they were, in fact. Wonderful.
That was probably my daughter's favorite kangaroo.
Good.
Right from Southwick Zoo.
That son of a bitch was
tastiest kangaroo.
ripped. It was delicious. I got to tell you, the fried alligator was absolutely out of this world. The wild boar was fantastic. The rabbit, I go hot and cold with rabbit. And this was all right. This is okay. The rabbit, I go hot and cold with rabbit. The bison was ridiculous.
Yep.
Out of this world. And I mean, I could give you guys a food review, but that's not what you're here for. You guys ate the food as well. And our listeners are kicking themselves for not being here for this. So for them, well, what can I tell you? I do want to mention this year is, if there's one thing that we have going on this year that I'm trying to really, if I had one resolution this year, it is to make the most successful year, not for me fishing, but for the multi-species scavenger hunt series that there possibly can be. Something is going on this year that's never happened before. We're not sharing that space with another company, with another brand. Their Chronic Trips element is gone. Every single month is going to be a Jigs and Bigs exclusive freshwater scavenger hunt style tournament, and it's a great thing for those to get involved with. If you've never done any competitive fishing, this is a great, gentle way to kind of step into it. Get comfortable with it. It's an online monthly tournament. It's a whole lot of fun. It's cheap. And the beauty of it is that we also have like raffles for the folks that don't land in the money. So if you're entering the tournament, you're dropping essentially $1 a day to fish is really what it gets down to. If you don't win any money back, you have a really good opportunity to win some fantastic prizes. Some of the prizes, go over the list that we've had so far, and I'll mention the newest one.
So Knock was involved, I believe.
Nakwa, amazing. They actually power both Sean and my kayaks. Yep. Great batteries. You won't break your toe if you drop them on your foot. That's a big deal. It's a big selling point. A-Bay Lure Lab, of course.
In the house.
A partner of the show. Love A-Bay Lure Lab.
I forgot. We had a
Fresh Baits.
Fresh Baits, obviously.
Fresh Baits. Only the best baits are Fresh Baits.
I believe Klondike is involved as well.
Klondike's back. That's good. That's very good.
Yeah. And there was one more that was sticking around.
I'm going to announce the new one while you go ahead and think about it.
Go ahead.
So we're bringing on NACO Fishing, N-A-K-O. NACO is a company that makes pretty much everything. They make rods and reels and things like that. They actually have a brand new BFS called the Cormorant. That is a pretty sexy looking BFS reel. But they also make a lot of tungsten products. And in a state like Massachusetts, where you have the lead laws that we have, tungsten is really important. NACO is one of those companies that sells fantastic tungsten. In fact, I was introduced to NACO through the Fresh Baits drop shot box that I picked up last year at the Connecticut Fishing Expo. They use some of the drop shot weights from NACO in there. NACO is going a step further and offering a 20% discount site-wide on all of their products, and that is exclusive for folks that enter the multi-species tournament. So just by being involved, even if you don't win a raffle, if you need to get some gear, and NACO makes tons of stuff, you can save yourself a fifth off of what you're buying, which is a good thing. Did you remember?
I do, but I'm working on logistics with them, so I'm not going to I'm not going to say that's not finalized.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about, and I think you're wearing their hat.
Maybe not.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
So the way that this tournament works is like this. What we do is we have a relationship with the app Fishing Chaos. Fishing Chaos is the app you use to register. It's the app you use when you're out fishing and you need to take a picture of your fish and submit it for your points. We also are working with Catch directly now, trying to get them involved as much as we can to make sure everybody's got the right measuring board, because there is an approved measuring board. But you guys should definitely enter, give it a shot. Even if you're only fishing a few days, in a month, go for it. If you look into the handful of species that you need, you could win this sucker. And you can fish from a boat, a kayak, on the bank, on the ice. It's all good. Whatever you've got to do, just fresh water. Fresh water. Good stuff. Let's see. One other thing I do want to mention. Last week's guest, Alec Plotnikevich, was on the show. Alec was originally on episode 108. He was on last week, and Alec is a hammer. He had shared this recently, and I asked him if he wanted me to kind of mention it on the show, and he said, shit. He said, quote, shit, comma, it couldn't hurt. I said, okay, great. So he is a member of the Pioneer Valley Bass Club, and they're looking for more members, and they're having a pre-season meeting next week, or if you're listening to this podcast, like in 2 days. The tournaments are on Sundays only. I guess they're looking for both boaters and non-boaters. So if you're listening to this show and you're like, oh, I'd love to get into competitive fishing, but I don't have a boat, what do? You can be a co-angler and sign up with this group. The organization, Pioneer Valley Bass Club, they've been on the fence about, or if you've been on the fence, rather, about joining the club, come by Hooters in West Springfield on the 17th of January at 7 p.m. You can meet the anglers that are already on, and they're going to have a discussion to talk about upcoming fishing season. There's a lot of things that they're considering, but they're looking to grow the club. So Alec had asked me if I could give this a mention, again, saying shit, it couldn't hurt. If you're into it, go ahead and check it out. Go to Hooters. I hear the wings are delicious. Any commentary?
So many, but I'm gonna lay off.
You got to. I think you got to. Here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna have a little bit of fun this week. As far as fishy stuff, I really got nothing other than that. Getting some mule plastics in the mail and some workhorse jigs, of course.
And we set up for my 200th episode. We've had fishing stuff all over our hands all day.
It's a little bit insane. I'll tell you guys, on Friday, I got no shortage of like 50 text messages from a very excited Sean the Fisherman, who had done some purchasing of items at, was it Party Warehouse? Or
it was Party City down in Enfield.
Party City?
Here, you know what? Free plug for them, because they were so nice. Go to Party City for all your balloon and taco piñata needs.
If you need a taco piñata, they're the place. We're looking for fish stuff, no go. But if we wanted Mexican fare, there we go. So we do have a raffle prize that is a piñata that you could win that is chock full of great stuff. It also comes with a matching sombrero. So if you really want to push that envelope in 2024, you can do that.
Spared no expense.
So no, definitely not.
It's also awesome to see some faces that we don't get to see very often.
Yep.
We have the Pendergasts here. We don't get to see them very often. We have Abe here. We have Dark Horse here. Drove a bajillion hours to get here. It's awesome. It's awesome when we get to see people face to face.
It really, yeah. I think, Joe, you nailed it, because when you think about just the miles alone between Maine and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, like, you guys, some of you guys traveled a significant distance to be here, and let's give them a round of applause for everybody that traveled. It is crazy. Yeah. They're staying at your house, so, I mean, it is, what it is. It'll be a good time.
I think Josh and Zach might be sleeping in my twins' beds tonight. I don't.
As you do. As you do.
The Pendergasts are crashing at my house. There was already threats of nudity.
Threats?
Yep. And the street ran both ways.
By the way, I got to talk about Pendergasts for a second. Specifically, Sarah, I got a text today from Chris asking if how hot I wanted my sauce. And I think I let my ego go a little bit too far, because apparently I have a jar of sauce that has one whole Carolina Reaper in there, and I express my what I do with Sarah's sauce is I just pour it into a glass over ice with a little bit of tequila and give it a stir and slug it down. It is the best margarita mix, Bloody Maria mix ever. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that with this one. We might actually have to put it on food. A lot of food. Yeah, this could be interesting. So we'll see how it goes. I'm interested. My plumbing thanks you. This should be good. Also, I've got some mustard pickles that my kids are going to enjoy very much. They're big fans.
Mustard what?
Pickles. Pickles. That's right, the pickles.
The meat has slowed you down.
The meat has slowed me down so much.
Pickles are Bobby's favorite. Loves them.
They really are. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about this. On everybody's table who is here, you'll see a little glass on the centerpiece right there that has a handful of these little gummy candies on here. These are champagne-flavored edibles, and they're 5 milligrams of THC. It's like the equivalent of having a couple of beers. So I'm going to go ahead and have a handful. If you guys would like to toast to another 200 with me, feel free. If you would like to overindulge, I have extras. Go right ahead. There's enough for one for everybody if the tables are full. Otherwise, you guys go ahead and have fun. I'm going to offer some to my co-hosts as well, if you would like to partake.
I'm good. I'm driving.
That is a good and a driving. Joe?
I cannot.
You cannot. God bless America. Guys, here's to 200 more. Cheers, everybody. Woo! What's great is that the only person that's going to have to deal with this end of me is my wife later on when these kick in. She's going to be very proud. She always is. Can we also give a round of applause to, I want to say, I've been saying forever that we need to get the three of us together with our wives to just kind of hang out and socialize. And all it needed to happen was producing 200 episodes of this one show and us deciding to have this amazing fundraiser for Veterans Inc. It finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. So glad. So glad. So here's what we're going to do, guys. I thought we would do something special and try something new. I like trying new stuff. And we're going to have ourselves a little bit of fun here. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and put this little screen up on the... I'm going to have to get rid of this here. Pause for editing. There we go. So what we're going to do is this, guys. Are any of you familiar with a tier list? Show of hands if you're familiar with the trend of tier lists on the internet. Anybody? So a tier list is basically where you can take quite literally anything and give and put it in order. So I figured we would have a little bit of fun with this, and we're going to get real geeky with this on the show, diving into gear, rating things, rating different fishing trends, things like that. But we have a lot of folks who are not fishy folks. They're just here to hang out and raise some money for a great organization, and they're folks that love and care for us for what we do, and which is amazing, and we thank you. So we're going to kind of keep it a little bit lighthearted and a little bit fun here. We're going to talk about some fishing stereotypes. These are things that you might encounter on the water. To be perfectly honest, at one time or another, we might actually be these things at different phases in our lives, depending on everything. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to go through this list, this batch of of items. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to rank these items like you would in school. An A being the best grade, an F being the worst. We got A, B, C, D, and F. Old school grading. You guys remember that? You remember that. Oh, Joe, do you remember that? A through F?
I'm almost 40, man.
No, you're not.
I'm almost
Are
40.
you?
I'm
Holy
almost 40.
shit. Okay. Wow, that gap between our ages just keeps getting less and less and less.
Yeah,
I feel really
somehow.
good about myself, and you have lower back pain, and that's what's happening. Let's talk about it. So we have a handful of different items, but I wanted to really engage a bunch of you guys. So I'm utilizing my trivia software platform to kind of bounce in between some of these things, so we can get you guys to weigh in a little bit and figure out what's what. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and talk about the first one. I'm going to go ahead and start this up. You guys will see some pictures on the screen, but I'm going to send pictures of what these items are directly to your device. All you have to do is tap on the picture to get back to the screen, and you will see A through F listed in front of you, and you can select which grade you'd like to do it. So we're going to go ahead and get this sucker started really, really, really easy. I'm going to send everybody a picture of this first one here. We're going to talk about fly fishermen. Okay, fly fishermen. You know, I'm going to go ahead and say it, that fly anglers, they definitely think they're of themselves this way, but I think to non-anglers, they think of that as being like the ballet of fishing. Like, there's a difference between, oh, you dance? Oh, yeah, I tap dance. Oh, no, I'm a ballerina, a prima, you know what I mean? Like, it's somehow higher brow.
So what you're saying is fly fishermen are ballerinas. Bass fishermen are tap dancers. And people who fish for catfish twerk.
They twerk, yes, absolutely.
I
Gotcha.
think bass fishermen would more be like the fucking mosh pit at like a grunge concert.
See, I was thinking that bass fishermen were like the chicken dance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
All right.
throw a big swim bait. You know what I mean? Something like that.
How many fly fishermen do we have in here? Show of hands. All right, I'll keep it.
For the record, it's 2. Which is 80% of the crowd that's here.
Fly fishermen are just bougie. They're bougie.
They definitely are.
You guys are bougie. I have to say it.
Actually, this is a really good question. I'm going to go over here because I'm going to ask Maria specifically because she fishes a lot of area that I grew up in, actually. How many times do you fish the Swift River a year? 5 times a year? What do you say the percentages that you see somebody who is at one of those drop-in spots rigging up in a Beamer or an Audi or a Porsche? None? See, I only fished the Swift last year twice. Both occasions, I saw an Audi with an Orvis sticker on the back and I think a Sim sticker, and the guy was like in the passenger seat, like sliding into his waders. I was just like, this is not built for me. This is not for me.
My one time, like with fly fishing, my dad's here tonight, so I get to like give him a little shit tonight. So the one time I remember from fly fishing, I was probably 7, 8 years old, and we were down at Howe Park in Spencer. We were down at Howe Park in Spencer, and the only thing he hooked that day was me, trying to practice his. Grabbed onto my little Bruins, my awesome little Bruins jacket,
Yeah.
hooked right onto that bad boy.
I will go so far to say this much about fly fishing. I think that deep down in the majority of anglers out there, period, there's the desire to at least try it. I think that's true. Like, I don't know that everybody's going to do it. Not everybody likes, not everybody likes rabbit stew, but there's the idea that you might try it. You might dabble a little bit. And I say go for it. Live your best life. But fly fishermen, you guys are going to get 10 seconds to weigh in. Here's 10 seconds. If you haven't voted already, go ahead, take your best guess, whatever you think they land. A tier to F tier. We're down to about our last 2 seconds here, and let's see what we got. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got a C. That's what won. They got C tier. What do you guys think as far as where we put them? Because we have, from the audience, we have a C tier.
C's get degrees.
C's do get degrees.
I'm going to land on firmly a B.
You're going to say a B?
Based on the skill involved, and even though they are bougie,
yeah,
they're generally quiet about it.
I will give that. I very rarely get a hard time. I feel like fly fishermen give other fly anglers a hard time.
Full disclosure on my end, I've seen all the photos on this list. They're a solid B. We're gonna get dirty here real quick.
I am gonna say that you and I think are the only ones that say in B. The crowd says C. I'm gonna put them at C. This could change. This could change. We're gonna put them at C for now. Now the next one, and this is just iconic right here. This one is iconic. Everybody. Oh, by the way, the fastest answer that came through that voted C. That's a hard C. That goes to Abe. Abe was like, nope, that's a hard C right there. Fair enough. Right in the middle. Next up, this one is one that everybody talks about. What grade do you give this fishing stereotype? And that stereotype is Karens. It's Karens. Now, you can experience Karens anywhere. And we had a conversation in last week's show about Karens. And I think for this, we're not talking about when somebody uses that term as a derogatory term because they disagree with what you're saying or the way that you're doing something. I'm talking about like a legitimate person who is projecting some kind of agenda of rage because they don't like you fishing what they think is private water or is their property or something. And, you know, like the stay away from my dock or the, how dare you handle that fish in this park? You know what I mean? You guys are already weighing in pretty good. Karens, are they iconic? I say no. I think they just suck. What do you guys think? What's your feedback?
They suck.
They suck.
Like everyone else is saying. And anyone who has fished more than a friggin' week has dealt with one in some aspect. And it's It just is what it is. If
you fish a body of water where there are houses around that body of water, the likelihood you've run into a Karen in one season is astronomically high at one point or another. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 10-second timer here for this guy. You guys go ahead and weigh in. We'll figure out what you guys think here. What do you think, Sean? This one hits home for you.
I'm gonna weigh in at the end of this.
You're gonna weigh in
after the voting. I'm gonna weigh in.
Okay.
I have a strong answer, and I feel confident with it.
So we have 21 teams connected right now. It's a pretty good mix right there. We have a 3 and a 4, but getting 8 votes is the F.
What I will say,
F tier.
What I will say is I probably deal with more guy Karens than I do female Karens.
Fish Daddy's wife with the fastest one right there. For the F. More guy Karens than you do girl Karens?
I would think so.
They definitely, it's definitely a good split. I just feel like the term Karen kind of gets lumped in there. There's plenty of men, Kenneths and Kyles and such. You know what I mean?
We're gender fluid here.
We try. We try our best, goddammit. So, Sean, weigh in. What do you think about Karens?
I think 95% of the time, they're Karens. The other 5%, there's probably a reason.
Yep.
And that's going to play into my answer once we talk about what grade they're going to get.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. We're at that moment now. So they've weighed in, and they're going with a solid F. The majority rules here for that. They're saying an F. I don't know. What do you think?
That 5 percentage points, that's the difference between an F and a D for me. I'm
An
giving
F
them a
and a
nice,
D.
solid, fat D.
A big old fat
Big
D
old
for the
D.
Karens.
So they
Okay.
get male and female.
Male and female Karens. Look at that. Look at that.
The thing about Karens is if they would just educate themselves for 5 minutes, they might get it a little.
It would make all the difference in the world, wouldn't it?
That's it.
It's crazy.
Joe, here's my benefit of the doubt on that.
Okay.
When you live on a lake,
Let's hear it.
how many times will you go out on a dock and have fish hooks left on your dock from people casting onto it until you finally snap and change your name to Karen? Not every fisherman behaves themselves. There's going to be a reason for some of them. That's why I'm saying
that is true.
I'm not giving them an A. They're getting a D.
But I think this also goes beyond just the dock stuff. I mean, I think we've all dealt with people beyond like the dock stuff, and I get the dock Karens.
That was an example. We can go down a lot of roads. I'm saying 95% of the time they suck really, really bad, but because of that 5%, there's my benefit of the doubt. They go D with me.
I have never left a hook on someone's dock.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, man.
There's a lot of people
shit
that have
happens.
no idea, though.
I have.
You know? I'm on the fence. I could go either way. But, Joe, are you saying F?
I'll go with D, only because he said.
Oh. All right.
Because
Strong persuasive argument I have. That's good
Because there are, just as there are Karens, there are asshole fishermen as well. So
Okay.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right, okay, so we got 2 Ds, and then the crowd says, and I'm on the fence, and the crowd says F. We'll go D. We'll go D on that. Now, this one's a little bit weird. This one might actually take a little bit of explaining, to be perfectly honest to you guys. Take a look at this picture right here. Fishing stereotype. This is the angler that doesn't have a clue at all, no clue whatsoever. And what I mean by this is the dude or the woman that you'll see fishing with a spinning combo upside down, reeling the opposite way. Or you might not even see them, but you might snag one of the rigs that they got lost, where you happen to hook a 3/4 ounce flipping jig with a pork trailer and a bunch of split shot further up the line, and a random swivel for who knows what reason.
And a bobber.
You might run into these kinds of things. That's what we're talking about here. What do you give that kind of fishing stereotype? We'll go ahead, send the question there. What do you guys think? The guys that just have no clue.
You want to go, Sean? Go ahead.
I do. They have no clue. The question that I ask is it because they learned from someone without a clue? Or did they just not have any mentorship and they're just learning on their own?
That's
now,
the thing. I feel bad if that's the situation.
I do too. But with everyone having smartphones these days and YouTube, I'm going to give them a C. My end is just a
I'd
C.
go with a C. Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know somebody's story. There could be a lot of things going on. I'm going to go with C.
I will also go to C, only because at least they're out there trying.
Yep.
They are, yeah.
I'll go 10 seconds here for the crowd to get their vote and see what they're thinking. I could definitely see giving them a C because it could go one of 2 ways. You just run into these situations sometimes where you know that these guys are out there fishing, and gals, and they give 0 fucks. Like, they're just doing whatever they're doing, and who knows. Let's see, how did we do? Oh, this is interesting. So we have 5 and 5 split between D and C.
Okay.
So we're going to end up going in between either of those. You guys are each saying C. I think we have to give it to C. Again, because exactly like you said, Howie's here. Howie.
Come on up, Howie. Tell us about how you reel upside down with a spinning reel.
Howie's here, and he got the fastest input answer right there. Not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give Karen's or the C for the not Karen's for the clueless anglers, which there's just so many of them. There are so many of them. This is my favorite. This next one has a special place in my heart. Take a look at this image right here, guys. What grade do you give this fishing stereotype? The boat ramp parking pro. You know those guys. They put their little smart car in a spot designed for a trailer. Those are my favorite people. My favorite. There is a special place in hell for those individuals. Hands down. That's just real talk. What do you guys think? Sean, you and I have had many a conversation about the parking lot antics at some boat ramps.
This is one of my few that gets a hard F. Hard.
A hard F?
Hard F.
Fair.
The stories. Let's wash our car at the car launch. We watched, during a tournament, we watched one guy, as people were loading in the water, we watched one guy filling up a water buffalo. You ever seen that? That's good shit.
Yes.
That's good shit.
I remember you telling me, wasn't that Champlain?
Messalonsky.
Oh, Messalonsky.
He was there for a solid hour and a half, just filling that thing up. Good stuff. Small pump.
There was one night, now granted, Binny and I, there was some boat ramp parking lot fuckery, this one specific instance where we actually just straight up camped there. But we were fishing the entire time. Like we're car camping at the ramp, totally illegal, but it was fine. And we had an instance where we're actually recording a segment of the podcast, now that I think about this. And this little mid-sized pickup just comes barreling through the driveway into the parking lot of the boat ramp, right in front of the ramp, blocks it out, and these two dumbasses throw in a paddle boat that they had bought on Facebook Marketplace. It was one of the kinds with the hard plastic top, but the bottom was styrofoam. You can't make this shit up. And one guy was in the thing, and it was all, kind of like, what's the term I'm looking for? It was off camber quite a bit, and it looked like it was kind of a dangerous situation. He goes, "We're going to try to return this. I think it's broke." Everything would have been fine if the other dude was also in that boat. Would have been fine, but oh my, just the fuckery is insane. I could go a hard F here, guys. We're going to do 10 seconds for the crowd to get their last vote in. Boat ramp parking pros. Joe, what do you think?
I think I'm going to go with an F as well. I mean, I think you were with me at when when people are attempting to back their trailers in, smoking other people's trailers or their cars, and then they just drive away acting like they didn't do anything. And
this is the most insane results I've seen. This is legitimate. This is not even putting on a show. We had one vote for a B. It's okay. It's okay. We had 3 votes for a D, and we had 13 votes for a hard F. Wow, that is impressive. And Howie again with the fast fingers. Howie's got those fast fingers. I've heard. Was it Nadia? I think. Yeah. So let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and put these boat park. This is our first F. I did not expect that to be the F. I thought Karens were going to get the F.
I think the term you're looking for with a paddle boat, very coincidentally and appropriate, is listing. The boat was listing.
Yeah,
as we are right now.
There it is.
Listing.
We are listing.
See what I did there?
I do see what you did there, and I'm impressed. This one gets some folks fired up. Right here. Let's go ahead and send this. I'm friends with some of these folks. I fish with some of these folks. These are the big baits only types. The ones that are out there, they're just like, yeah, I used to throw conventional baits back in the day, but now I'm not throwing anything lighter than a 32-ounce dips, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about, I throw big swim baits. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those guys that are like, that is what I throw. That's it. All the time. Now, there's some stereotypes that go within the big boat community, like the flat brim cap. Dude, where did that come from? I love those hats. And I'll throw a 3/8-ounce chatterbait all day. That's fine. Like I said, I fish with some of these folks, and I love them. They are great. What do you guys think? We see some votes coming in. I'm going to go ahead and start that 10-second timer right here, so you guys can go ahead and jump in. What do you guys think about the big bait stuff?
Gonna blow your mind.
What are you going with?
A.
You're going with an A?
A. Leave all the fish for the rest of us. Go ahead and catch your 1 fish a month. Fuck you. I'm good.
What do you
throw
say,
as many
Joe?
big baits as you want.
I'm kind of on the same page with Sean with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, have at it. I mean, good on you. When you have to get your shoulder replacement, yeah.
So we got a hard C right here from our group. 5 of them said D, 2 said both A and B, and 8 of you said C. So C is going to get that one from the crowd. I think, honestly, and it was Chris with the fast finger there. That was Chris.
There's 8 Chris's here.
There are
which
8
Chris?
I have no idea. It's
all right,
the
it was
only
Chris.
one that called themselves Chris.
Chris Pendergast. Bobby, I'm going to hijack this for a moment.
Go
right?
ahead.
All right. If you're going to be the fastest person in, which we encourage, why? We got to have a reason. I want to know why. Why is this guy a C? Let's hear some logic here.
Yeah,
or have
actually,
the edibles
what?
kicked in room wide.
That might be the case. I think he might have toasted upon arriving. I'm going to come over here. We'll get some feedback from Chris directly. This is why I wanted to do this, so I had the wireless mic. Chris, what do you say?
I bet Chris ain't going to be the fastest next time.
Let them have their big baits, and if they're just going to use those, I'll keep fishing around them. That's all.
I can't argue with that kind of logic.
I can't either.
No, I can't either. And I think that realistically, I think we could probably comfortably put them maybe and meet in the middle at a B.
Yeah. It sounds to me, Chris, I'm going to translate. It sounds like you're saying, yeah, that's not very nice. I was going to help you out here, all right? I was saving you until you flipped me off by scratching your nose. But it
Chris
sounds
is so
like, I think the
mad
general
right now.
consensus is, fuck them, we're not doing it.
You know
That
what?
sound right?
I gotta look at it like this. We got an A here. We got an A here. These guys.
I'm going to go to B. I'm going to go to B.
I'm
You're gonna
happy
go
to go with a
B?
B. Yeah, fuck
You're
them.
happy to go with a B? Okay,
Fuck 'em.
we'll put them in B. Fuck them. That's right. Big swim bait guys. Fuck them. That's where we're going with this. Nice.
I will give it to them though. I mean, I cry when I lose a $4 jig, and they're losing or have the chance of losing a $150 lure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not. I am fucking getting that thing back.
Quick story right here. Everybody knows we've talked about the butcher on the show before. Ryan Bogley. Ryan, I was in the odd situation where the worlds of my business life and the podcast kind of combined. I had the lovely opportunity to DJ for Ryan's wedding. Now, the morning of his wedding, he and I think it was his brother or maybe his best man had gone out fishing.
I think it was the same person.
Oh, is it the same dude?
I think so.
Oh, it might be. And maybe his brother was the best man. Anyway, that guy got some like $200 bait, like hung up somewhere. And this was in mid-April?
Yeah.
And Ryan, on his wedding day, went swimming in that April water on Lake Chungabungabungabog, a.k.a. Webster Lake. That is hardcore. I'm not doing that. I'm throwing that money away, and my wife is going to never know about this. That's the plan. Block this all out, honey. Have another gummy. So, really, I mean, you know, I got to give him credit. Let's move on, though, because now we're going to go the polar opposite. The polar opposite is the ultralight enthusiast, because it's a stereotype as well. You get guys that are out there that all they throw are 2-inch plastics on the tiniest of jigs. And then they catch a bass at all, and it's all of a sudden, oh, it's a 5-pounder, bro. You know what I mean? Lots of times these folks are out there chucking around like a 5-foot-long ugly stick ultralight on a 1,000 size reel. You know, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that.
And they catch fall fish.
That was in January. And I haven't caught a fish since late November.
You could have sold that for ice bait.
I could have.
If we get ice.
Yeah, I 100% could have. Actually, I could have gone to the other river and gotten myself a nice pike with that, actually.
Awesome.
On any other combo. But yeah, I think ultralight enthusiasts, you guys are voting like crazy. I'm going to start the timer. Where do you guys land with ultralight enthusiasts? I feel like I was this guy early on in fishing. I was.
I'm going to have to go to a C because I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect. It's kind of like the other end of the spectrum with the big baits, because every once in a while you get a decent sized fish on that, and it's a blast to catch. You know,
and it is fun. I mean, you catch a dink on a huge swim bait, and you're reeling that sucker in on an extra heavy rod with like 20-pound fluoro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, come on. But you catch a dink on like 4-pound test on an ultralight spinning combo.
Sure.
And you're like, oh shit, I hope my braided leader knot doesn't let go.
Sure.
Because I'm scared shitless. Like, you get a 2-pounder on that, it is the fight of your life.
Yep.
You know, so I can respect it too. I could go for a C. How do you feel, Sean?
I'm going with an A again.
He's going with an A.
Same exact reason with the opposite size.
Fair enough.
Fuck 'em.
So as far as what the audience has said, only one of them said an A, which I can respect. 5 said a B. We had 2 for a D, another 1 for an F. 9 of you said C. So we're gonna go C there. The fastest one though that got their answer is the beard and the bitch. Nice. Who's the beard and the bitch?
Who's that?
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. That's right. You guys have played with me over at East Village Tavern. I'm a dumbass. That is awesome. All right, so yeah, we can go ahead. We'll give them a C. I think that's fair. The majority of you said C. We got 2 of us that said C.
So why?
And one that said A.
What were you thinking?
That is the most honest shit I have ever heard. The gummies are kicking in. I just hit C. You know what's interesting? I've hosted 4,000 speed quizzing games in my career. That is the strategy of most teams. That's usually what it is. I'm just hitting C.
You're
nice
gonna
job.
get one right eventually.
We can stop asking. That was the best answer. We can't top that.
That really was. Have a good night, folks.
There's no logical answer that's going to top that.
No,
that was beautiful.
That's pretty good. Joe, that was really great.
Yep.
Next one is here, and I think everybody knows this person, and it's like their friend or something like that. This is the everything has to match guy. I'm talking about I bought this rod, and it's, you know, Army green. I better get a Abu Garcia Zeta to put on it to match. Everything is matched, color, lined up, brand specific sometimes. How do we feel about that? Guys, what do you think? You guys are already voting. I'm going to go ahead and start that timer so we can get this vote out there.
OCD is a real illness, Bobby.
OCD is a real illness.
All right?
Yeah, but his stuff doesn't match like crazy.
It's fucked up.
Matchy.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm going to go with a B.
You're going with a B?
I really enjoy brand loyalty, number one. And if you find a product that works, you buy it until they take it away.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could 100% see that. So we have another tie. We have a C and a D. They're both tied at 5 right here. You're going with a B. What are you going to say, Joe, for this?
I'll go to B as well.
See, I'm
copying Sean's test.
You're a real copycat.
I'm copying Sean's test right now.
I'm going to go, honestly, if I had to throw a vote in here, I would say an A, because here's the deal. I think that is awesome. If you have the effort and the ability and the financial backing to be able to go and get that into it, awesome.
Well, hang on.
You don't need the backing.
Hang on.
You can buy. You can stay cheap.
All the Walmart shit matches.
You could.
Yeah.
All the Walmart shit does match.
Shit matches.
That's fair. But I'm talking about like if you're really going for like performance stuff and you're looking to match everything together.
But when your shoes match your rod and reel, that's a little different.
Oh, that's a whole other thing. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's a C. That's a C for me. You guys are both going B?
I'm going B.
I'm going with a C. If you're going that hardcore, you need to talk to a specialist. I'm going to give, for the crowd, I'm going to give it the C vote for them. The C word for them. The fastest correct answer on the bonus right there. It's shocking. It's the beard and the bitch.
Who we've already heard from tonight.
We've already heard from. And these edibles are wonderful. That's all we can really say. As far as I think the grade of where they're going to go on the top tier list, I mean, I'm saying A. I'm going to ignore that because I seem to be in the minority. You guys are both going B here. Everything has to match, guys. What do you say? Do we do C or do we do B? It's 2 for B and 1 for C. Let's do B.
All right,
we'll do B. We'll do B. This is getting pretty interesting.
A little OCD makes the world go round.
A little bit of OCD does make everything kind of happy. I don't want to offend anybody in here, and I am going to. Some of you are abso-fucking-lutely in this category, and I love you for it. This is the Make My Own Lures guy. Right here, the Make My Own Lures guy. Now, again, there are some of you guys that make baits that rival anything you could buy in your big box store, 100%. There are none of you that fit into this subcategory that are in this room right now. Where you make those plastics that kind of go like derp, derpity derp, 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 derpity derp. I'm talking about those plastics where you're like, that's a cool stick bait, and they're like, that's a swim bait. Or, wow, that's a really cool looking craw, and they're just like, it's a beaver. Or, that is a really interesting grub. And they're just like, that's interesting. I was making a TRD style bait. Where it's just not right. Like they look like factory fifths, you know? There's that you have to take into consideration because we've run into that before.
That plays into my numbers game for my answer.
Perfect.
I went with numbers on this. I was counting on my fingers. If anybody could see, I was actually counting. By my estimation, and this is only bait makers I have run into personally.
Yep.
4 out of 5 of them are awesome and deserve an A.
Oh, absolutely.
And 1 of them is a piece of shit and deserves an F.
Yes.
So I'm going with a solid B on this because that's what an 80 is.
Who's that,
80%.
Sean?
That's
Who's
a B.
that?
We're not going to talk about that.
We nearly gave away some of those baits because I can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We thought better of it. And, you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's just folks that are kind of the make your own. In fact, there are people in our audience tonight that just solely support the bait make your own guy, but they don't put any kind of that 20% factor in their product whatsoever. So I think you're going with a B. Let's see what we got. Let's start the timer. Everybody's got their answer in there. Joe, what do you think?
I'm going to go to C, only because, you know, I feel like half are just solid bait makers, awesome bait makers.
Yep.
The other half are like me when I tried to pour my own plastics. I just ended up with a bunch of like 2nd and 3rd degree burns on my hands.
So you're going with a B and you're saying a C.
I'm going to go with a C.
You're going with a C. The crowd says an A. 11 of them say an A. That is loaded as hell. And of course, the fastest fastest answer there, Fish Daddy's wife, of course. And
why is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay.
We might have the best answer of the night again.
It is again. You guys are. You should. I'm going to
better.
sit down. You guys should just run this show because you guys are full of the good stuff. Yeah, I would say honestly, we got a B here. We got a C here.
Yeah.
We got an A from all of them. Could be A, B, or C. I'm going to say let's go ahead and meet in the middle, and I'm going to put it at a B. I could give it a B.
I say, you know what? Let's bump this up to an A.
You want to give it an A? It'll be the only A.
Let's support our local bait
It'll be
makers.
the only A so far.
And if you know one, sleep with them.
If you know one, sleep with them. That's perfect. That is all right. And anybody in here that
Chris, what are you doing tonight?
Getting laid.
If anybody in here regularly takes like prescriptions for their blood pressure medication, you're going to need it for this question. All right? Get ready. This is the creme de la creme, iconic fishing outing element you could run into. It's none other than the one and only lake louse. What is a lake louse, you might say?
If there's any other answer than F, I'm going to be a little confused here.
Sean, go ahead and tell our listeners what exactly a lake louse is. What makes that up?
Oh, God. The definition is broadening by the year. I mean, we know that. But it's basically a recreational, motorized idiot on the water. Is that a good definition?
So far, you're playing right in my wheelhouse.
And usually they have a tactic where they see somebody fishing and have to go as close as possible, as fast as possible.
Yep.
They may or may not smell like White Claws.
Okay, often they do.
50-50, depends on the species.
Yep. Or Mexican brickweed. Sometimes you get that too.
Or despair.
Yeah. Or despair.
But all of them do tend to smell like Axe.
Axe body spray, yes. No, it's funny. Just this week, I forget, was it Roadkill Nick? Somebody had sent me a DM this week, and they're just like, does this count as lake lice? And it was a snowmobile. Yes. 100% it does. It's that motorized vehicle term that I think you got to throw out there. If you're like in Idaho and you're ice fishing and there's like 3 feet of ice and people are driving trucks out there, trucks and SUVs can be lake lice. 100%. It's insanity.
Fair enough.
How about bass boaters?
See, I will say this. Occasionally, they're...
Sounds like you fish from a kayak.
Sounds like you fish from a...
Motherfuckers.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Joe has a beautiful skeeter that just so happens to match my truck perfectly. I'm just saying, we could make this happen. I will say this much. I think most folks in bass boats are... While they've landed in the FTG category, they're not pulling anywhere near the amount of bullshit that's going on as jet skis and wreck boaters and all this other stuff, like all the other lake lice that fall in there. Jet skis, I think, are the biggest one. If anything, they're like the hood ornament of the truck of lake lice that's barreling toward the boat ramp to park inappropriately.
Bobby's had to do a run with me around a bunch of wreck boaters on the Connecticut River.
On Memorial Day weekend, by the way.
Yep. Someone had a tournament on Memorial Day weekend, and our dumbasses were. You were there too.
It was fun.
Sean was there too.
We did a run.
Yeah, there was a lot of puckering going on. We're going to say that. We were in spots where I was looking over the boat, and I'm like, I could count rocks. They were that shallow.
I acted like I knew what I was doing, but I was like,
I was doing
the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck.
There was a moment where we both got airborne, and we looked at each other and high-fived. It was like, yeah! It was like a commercial for Pizza Hut in the late 80s. That's what it was like. It was out of this world. Let's go play Galaga. No, I think I have to give them an F. I think, Joe, what do you think? Do you think you give them an F?
100%.
100% an F. Now, I'm just looking at the screen right now. We're counting down the last 10 seconds here to get the vote. Now, keep in mind, we have 21 devices connected. 19 of them are connected. We have a solid 19 as the E option, F. There we go. And the fastest one, the one that was most upset, hot dog water. There we go.
Hot dog water. Got a question for you. What kind of boat does your father own? Your father should. I believe he owns a wreck boat and a pontoon boat. Yeah. Okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Dual membership.
What I'd like to do here is now bump everything up one grade and put that as the sole F. When you're unanimous, you deserve a special place in hell.
You know what? All right, I'll do that. All we got to do is bump up the parking pros to a D, and I think that's fair.
All right, I'm okay with that.
Because we can't go any higher on the A, but we'll do that. So that'll be that F right there. This is a big one. And, guys, we are in Chicopee, Massachusetts. Chicopee, Massachusetts has no shortage of these anglers. It's just a magic little thing.
Oh, boy.
We call them the White Bucket Brigade. The White Bucket Brigade, generally, these are those folks that go out and they don't pay attention to any of the regulations in fishing whatsoever. They're essentially poaching most of the time. That's really what it gets down to. Keeping every last thing that they catch, and it sucks. Because you talk to, and I will say this. There are some, and a lot of people like to think that the White Bucket Brigade doesn't exist in Massachusetts for bass. Wrong. It 100% does. And these folks that are eating large bass, you can tell. You can tell because they speak a little slower. They don't really finish sentences completely. It's almost as if they've had a lobotomy because the high heavy metal levels of these predators that they're eating are slowly rotting their gray matter. This is science. It just is. I had a short story. They don't listen to the podcast. I don't think they can figure out how to find a podcast. There was a couple of players at my trivia that found out that I host this podcast and asked if I like fishing. I think I was actually wearing the Jigs and Bigs t-shirt to trivia this one night. And after talking with them, I was like, you guys don't catch and release much, do you? And they're like, oh, hell no, man. We eat everything we catch. And I'm like, that's why your scores are the way they are in smartphone trivia. It's pretty obvious. You should see a doctor. Something could be done. I don't know. White Bucket Brigade is they just bring me down. What do you guys think?
I'm going to go with a D. They're doing it to themselves. They bring you down.
Yeah.
And they're the guys that are going to ask, hey, nice catch. You going to keep that muskrat?
Oh, my God.
And they'll fire at the bucket. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. Like, I got a little Coleman stove in the back of my car. I'll go ahead and fire this sucker up. We'll make some fritters, muskrat fritters. I can taste the fucking PCBs.
They're up to the White Bucket Brigade. They're up to no good when they're there by yourself, and then you start to, you pull in, and all of a sudden they're out of there. They pack their shit and they're gone.
That's a good, they're like, this guy follows the rules.
Yeah, yep.
He's a rule follower. So we have an interesting situation on the board. We have a C and a D that are tied at 6 votes each. The other two, the other next heaviest one is the 4 votes for an E, which is, or for a failing grade, I guess. I think we could probably settle this as a D, the way it looks, kind of as the vote. We'll call that a D. And you're right, they are. They're doing it to themselves. It's shitty. Binya with the fastest correct answer there. Nice job, Binya. Let's go ahead. We'll put those guys in the D spot. There's a lot of D's. D's and C's are all tied up right now. I can't wait to show you guys this whole deal.
You can't spell lead poisoning without a D.
You can't spell lead poisoning without a D. If that ain't a fact, Jack. I love it. Next one. This one's going to get people fired up, and nobody in this room does this. Nobody, I'm sure of it. We're talking spot burners. How iconic is that? Spot burners. This could also maybe fall into that clueless angler thing. Not knowing anything and just blowing up a spot that's been really, really fantastic. And part of the worst part about spot burners, in my opinion, is that sometimes you don't know. You don't know the anglers that you're screwing over because you thought that stump was producing fish that was awesome, and you found an oasis, and come to find out there's 50 other dudes that count on that to get that kicker that they need in a tournament, So it's kind of tough. You don't know who you're screwing over. What do you guys think about spot burners?
I got 2 thoughts on this.
Yep.
There's the internet spot burners.
Yeah.
And I think generally that affects ice fishing, so it doesn't affect me too much. But with with spot burning, I mean, we live in one of the most populous states in the nation. How much is left to burn? There's no secrets left out in this state. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna give him a C. Fuck it.
Going with a C?
Yeah.
How do you feel, Joe?
This might not be a popular answer, but I tell people where I've caught fish, like, 'cause I want to see other people catch fish too.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sitting there putting it on the internet, but maybe I'm a spot burner. I don't know, but
I think
if I'm catching fish, and it has nothing to do with a tournament. I do not burn spots or tell people spots if I'm about to fish a tournament.
Where are you doing a tourney?
Yeah. But other than that, hey man, I caught this fish here. Like try to hit it up.
I think there is a world of difference between telling somebody you know about a spot that's produced or trying to again. I think to some extent that comes into growing the sport. The thing that really bothers me are those folks that will scour the internet and look. That's how they fish, and I think that's the difference. Like if you're looking on the internet at pictures and you're like, I know what that building is. I know. Oh, he caught that good fish there. I'm gonna go there. If that's how you do your homework before you go and hit the water, I think you're a piece of shit.
Well, you have the apps too that you can go look at. And,
we've talked about those.
Yep, and people are obviously trolling it because there was a couple peacock bass caught up at the Chicopee river.
Oh yeah.
Shut up.
Clearly, some peacock bass.
Shut your mouth.
So this is interesting. No votes for an A, no votes for a B. We've got 4 of you that voted for a C, 5 of you that voted for a D, but 6 of you voted for an F. So that's an F taking the dub for the spot burners from the crowd. What do you guys think is and that was Fish Daddy too, by the way, the fastest correct answer there. What do you guys think?
Look, I'm just going to scale this. Are they as bad as lake lice? I mean, we have a fucking basement here. We have a floor. You give them a D at least.
I could say we could probably give them
we're going to have to top lake lice. That's really where we're going with
this. That's a tough one. So far, we got a lot of Ds.
Nobody's as bad. Yes, we do. Nobody's as bad as lake lice.
This one's interesting because you can love or hate this, depending on how you look at it. We're talking about the catching anything crowd. This is when you're at like a spot that's got either a good amount of houses or like a hiking trail that goes around the pond, and people will see you and automatically assume that you want to stop what you're doing and have a conversation about if and when you're catching, what it is that you're catching. I find myself, because I sometimes just can't shut up. You guys, as listeners of the show, probably have figured that out. Sometimes I just can't keep my mouth shut. And I will waste so much time talking to somebody that doesn't give a shit at all, genuinely, about what I'm telling them. They're not going to be like, oh, really? Take out a telescopic rod and start flipping that brush pile I've been working. That's not going to happen. So for me, it's irritating because of like just the waste of time. I'd rather just leave me alone. It's all good. What do you guys think grade-wise? Like, I don't think it's a terrible thing. I think we got to go. Me, I would probably give him a B.
I'm going to cut this in the middle. Normally, I'm happy to talk to people, and they would normally get a B from me, and I usually do. Hey, how's it going? Great day out. Yeah, I'm catching something, especially like lake waterfront owners. You know what I mean? They're generally happy to talk and say, hey,
those are great.
Fishing's been good. But then there's the ones that are D's because they ask, hey, how you doing? And you say good, and they turn around and say, I hooked up a 12-inch Darrell with 3 treble hooks, and I caught an 8-pounder here. You can't do that. Okay, fuck you then.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to cut it in the middle, give them a C, because there's both.
I can
and they're
see
plentiful.
That. Well, and C is the majority winner right here with 9 votes right there.
Taking the good with the bad right there.
Yeah. No, that's fair. What about you, Joe? What do you think with a C? You got a C from the crowd.
Me personally, I'm going to give a D only because I'm way too introverted to talk to people I don't know.
Fair enough. Okay.
I don't like... Yeah, that's the one.
All right. Yeah. No, that's fair. I can see that too, because usually I'm baked, and that's a good thing. But it'll keep me talking, and that's part of the problem. Fish Daddy's wife, by the way, with the fastest vote right there for the winning one. Fish Daddy's wife, nice job. Yeah, I could say. So we're saying C or D. I could probably. That's 2 for a C. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna give him a C. We'll give it the C. Middle of the row. We got 3 more left, guys, and that's it. I appreciate you guys for sticking this out, and we'll see how it goes. But this next one right here, this is like a subset of lake lice. And I took so much pride in this picture for this question. These are pleasure boaters, you know? And the worst time of year, in my opinion, when this happens is when the cooler weather starts coming in the fall. The leaves are changing, you know? Pumpkin spice is everywhere. And I'm out in my kayak or maybe out in Joe's boat, and you'll see these pleasure boaters on these pontoon boats looking to get that one last rip in. And I'm like, all you're doing is burning gas, you idiot. Like, what are you actually doing here? Or you'll see them like in this illustration where there's a fire on the back end of the boat because they can't handle their grill properly or whatever they're doing on the water. What do you guys think about pleasure boaters?
I have the exact 180-degree argument from you. I think lake lice are a subspecies of pleasure boater. So nothing's as bad as lake lice. I mean, D or C, I don't even care. C, D, B, whatever you want. They're quiet generally. They keep to themselves. Most of them give you room when you're in a kayak. I don't care. They're not lake lice.
They aren't lake lice. I'll give you that. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. Everybody got their vote in. Joe, what do you think about pleasure boaters?
So when I think pleasure boaters, I'm thinking just that. The pontoon boats that are just doing the 5-mile-an-hour laps around the lake. They generally don't bother me by any means, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a B.
This is the most interesting spread that we've seen. We have 2 that are tied with 6 votes each. One is a C and one is an F. That's crazy. We have 4 of you that went with a D. I think D is a great spot for them. Myself. Joe, what do you think?
I mean, that goes completely against what I just said, but whatever. Fuck me, I guess.
What do you think? You're saying
I don't even give a shit.
You don't even give a shit?
Again, they're not lake lice unless they're really out of control with their shit.
They're really not.
So I don't care. Anything but not F. Not F.
I'm going to go ahead and do this. We're going to mark the win from the crowd. We're going to call it the C, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the list as a D. Hot dog water with the fast fingers there.
Figures.
And you know, like, that's the thing. I feel like hot dog water has living the lake life culture as long knows. If anybody has the experience, it's hot dog water.
True.
It is. All right, so we'll go ahead. We'll throw the D on there. Next,
yeah, we will.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what's happening. Let's go ahead and we'll move on to our next one. What is the screen I need? This one here. We got 3 more to go. No, 2 more to go. I take that back. This one's going to ruffle some feathers. The YouTube superstar. What do you guys think? How iconic is this fishing stereotype right here? I'm talking about the one that's like, you know, and this can be a wide range. These are folks that are maybe catching fish, doing a quick release, being, responsible with where they are with land, things like that. This one's a hard C from everybody. That is a hard C from everybody right there in the crowd. What do you guys think about the YouTube superstars?
After you, Joe.
I'm going to give them a C. Only because...
It's 2 hard Cs.
Only because I will argue this to the death. YouTube has done great for our sport in the last 10 years.
Yep.
That's it, getting the younger crowd in there, up and coming, because we live in a generation where the kids are stuck to their TVs, tablets, whatever. So they've done great. However, you do have some of your assholes on there. And
sure.
But so that's why I'm going to give it a C. Halfway through.
Fair enough. What do you think?
C Sean? For don't care. For every good one that's out there, there's another one that pretends to be a good one, starts every episode with, hey guys, and then says, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and in the middle of it, we're going to break 6 laws and do it on camera.
I agree. Yeah, I think actually C is a great spot for that. I'm glad. I think it fits the bill. It's a good fit. C is really good. We got a strong midsection. The C's get degrees and the D's none of D's.
We work our cores.
We really do.
Good strong abs.
That's really good. Now this one here, like I said, at one point or another, I feel like a lot of us have been in these situations. Like I definitely know when I first started fishing, I was an ultralight enthusiast, 100%. Oh, all I need is my ultralight. That's it. And then I catch a big fish and break off, and I'm like, well, shit, you know. So we've all kind of been there, but what about this one here? What is your thoughts on this? Fishing podcasters. How iconic are fishing podcasters here, guys? We'll go ahead and start that 10-second timer. I mean, it's a fishing stereotype. You know, you're talking about folks that are going to be on the water, shove a microphone in your face to get your feedback on the conditions. What do you guys think about fishing podcasters? We have a good, non-biased opinion here.
I think it's obvious we have to bump up the lake lice. We've got a new bottom now.
We do have a new bottom. Unfortunately, the crowd all went with an A. 9 of them.
Bunch of kiss asses.
You guys are all
because we haven't done the raffle yet.
The fastest one? That was Sarah right there. Nice job, Sarah. Hell yeah.
We got to have her tell us why.
She lied. She knows why.
That's it. That's the one reason.
Fuck yeah.
Sarah was
Fair
on the
enough.
show.
Hell to the yeah. That is awesome. So what do you guys think as far as how we should rate this? You know, there's a bunch of them that say A, you know. I mean, do we get a vote or do we have to leave it just the crowd?
No, let's leave it as it is. We've got the best of the best, we got the worst of the worst, and a bunch in the middle. I think we're fine with that.
So, no, I'm talking about where are we going to put fishing podcasters?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did the crowd say, A?
Crowd said A, yeah.
Oh, right at the top. Tip of the spear.
Again, we have to consider...
It's totally unbiased.
We have to consider
Totally
the raffle was not done yet.
That's true.
They're just greasing us up.
Do we give it a B?
What's the A right now? I can't see.
The A right now is the build your own baits guy.
Are we cooler than the build your own baits people?
No. I mean, we might.
No.
Wow. Says no. That was a hard no. That was a hard no. Guys, I'm going to show you the... let's get rid of this. I'm going to show you guys the tier list so you can see what we're dealing with now. It's a little bit small. I apologize. What do you think, Joe? Do we go A? Listen to the crowd, you know? Or do we just say...
We do an A+.
We do an A+. This is where that S
See,
tier
this is where we drop.
Yeah.
Maybe this is where the bait guys go to B. B for bait.
You know what? Fight Club. That's how we figured out Fight Club.
Let's have a Kumite. Get the broken glass and the glue.
We can put them both at A. Like it's that is 100% okay. We're just ranking each one individual.
All right, let's do
not
it.
competing.
Let's do it because I love all of our bait makers that we know.
I know, and the people have spoken.
And
We're going to go ahead and do
to
it.
be on the same level as you.
Hell yeah. I'm going to download this sucker tonight, guys, and we're going to post it so everybody can see it. But that is our tier list. The only F right there is the Lake Louse. We got D's for Karens, the boat ramp parking crowd, the White Bucket Brigade, the spot burners, and the pleasure boaters. C grade, which seems to be where the action is, and I've heard that before. Fly fisherman, the guy without a clue. What do we have? What's that other one? The ultralight enthusiast, the catch anything crowd, and the YouTubers. Those are a C, kind of middle of the road. But that I think is where the action is. We gave a B. We gave a B to the big swim bait exclusive crowd and the everything has to match. And then for the A tier, the premium tier, we have our bait makers. We have fishing podcasters. Well, if that isn't the most accurate thing I have ever heard, folks, that is absolutely amazing.
Scientific results right there, folks.
I think it is. It truly is. That's like, can we get Stephen Hawking? What's going on with him lately?
He's a little busy.
He is a little busy. So, let's go ahead. We'll pop that there. There we go. All right. You know what? I think we've done really, really great. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break from our first segment here. Great opportunity to refresh your drinks. We're going to take about a 10-minute break. Also good for bathrooms and such. And we will see you guys in a bit. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more Jigs and Bigs right after this.
Jigs and Bigs wants to take a moment to say thank you to our partners for helping us continue to push the limits of our fishing adventures and bring you amazing long-form podcast content. We need to thank Dark Horse Tackle, Omnia Fishing, A-Bay Lure, The Bay House, and The Ship Motel. We can't forget about Three Bells Outfitters, Torres Sunglasses, and of course, Reaction Tackle. Be sure to check the description of this podcast for any associated affiliate links or promo codes they've generously provided our listening audience. Again, we cannot thank our partners enough for their support. Please consider supporting them and supporting the show in the same process. Thanks. You. Yeah, you. The one with the impeccable taste in fishing podcasts. Bobby Roast Beef here with a little call to action for all Jigs and Bigs listeners. We're opening up our hotline to you. Now you can call us to sound off about almost anything at 413-324-8519. Want to submit someone for our FTG segment? Call us at 413-324-8519. Care to maybe suggest a topic for Just the Tip or Bait of the Week? Call us at 413-324-8519. Maybe you just want to give us or anyone else a little shout out on the show, or you want to suggest a guest for the beef seat. You guessed it. Call us at 413-324-8519. The Jigs and Bigs hotline is there for you to leave a message with us 24/7. Just call 413-324-8519. Also, you can check that number in the notes of this podcast.
Alrighty, guys. So this week's FTG, oddly enough, did not happen at Bass Pro Shops. As those of you guys know, the last 3 weeks we've had stories come in of just people acting a fool at Johnny Morris's spot, and it's getting a little crazy. But this week, that's about as refreshing as it gets. I'm going to go ahead and read this story that Sean had sent over to me from Yahoo News. Its headline reads, "Man filmed demanding Asian father and son stop fishing in Australian waters." It says a man was filmed berating an Asian man and his son while they were fishing, claiming that they were not allowed to fish as the area belonged to Australian waters, not international waters. What happened in the video, it was uploaded to TikTok on Sunday. The user name is @CooterCowgirl. They can be seen approaching the racist man wearing a Southern Cross hoodie while he was telling the Asian man and his child by the lakeside to leave. "You need to leave," the woman filming tells the man in the hoodie. "Go away. Why are you yelling at them? They're just fishing. This is Australian water, and I've got family in the ADF, and their country just nuked an Australian vessel. They are Chinese," the man replies, seemingly referring to an incident where Royal Australian Navy divers faced minor injuries during an altercation with a Chinese warship off the coast of Japan in November. The Asian man tries to argue with him and the woman assures him, "Don't stress," and proceeds to confront the man in the hoodie, saying, "You're so embarrassing, you need to go away. Do you have nothing better to do with your day? It's a lovely day, and you're here yelling at these two poor people." Not international water. In the second part of the confrontation, the racist man asserts that the woman is infringing on his Australian rights by recording him. Then he repeats, "This water is not international water. No Chinese tourists fishing in Australia here. This is local water," before ascending from the lake bank. He then tells the Asian man to address the matter with his dictator, Xi Jinping, before saying in slow, broken English, "Because my family had bad sonar nuked on them in international waters. So this water, Australian water, you stay away. I see Chinese fishing in local pond in suburban area. Not good." The recording then ends as the man walks away. The video has since gone viral on TikTok, garnering more than 144,000 views. Many views praise the woman for standing up for the Asian family, while others condemn the man's actions. That's just some bullshit right there.
Karen, Australian for asshole.
Wait, go ahead one more time.
Oh, that was Karen. Australian for asshole.
I think that about sums it up really from all of us. It is just insane. We had a conversation in last week's episode about a specific comment section of a reel that was posted from an apparel company. And Sean, to his credit, went and broke a cross-section of it down statistically and found that the majority of comments, or I should say the second most, by a hair. A
short and curly.
A very short, curly hair, were racist and bigoted comments. And I've got no time for that in the fishing community whatsoever. I'll absolutely put a stop to it immediately.
I'm just kind of bummed out we're not talking about Bass Pro this week.
I'm a little shocked that we're not talking about Bass Pro this week.
Nice interlude into racism. This is good.
There you go,
Ethnic
Joe.
hate. We're good. You know.
There you go.
We try to cover all the bases here at Jigs and Bigs.
We got it all, Bass Pro Shops, and and it's also funny, like what international. I wonder where in Australia they were, if they were inland or if they were on the coast. I would assume they're on the coast.
No idea.
Yeah.
Don't know enough about Australia.
I just don't understand. It does not make any sense. So here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to go ahead and jump into the raffle right now. That's what we're going to do. We're going to jump into the raffle. Why is that?
I'm sorry. It was a hell of a transition right there.
I'm thinking about it. We don't have any gear of the week to talk about anything like that. We have an amazing interview. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump into the raffle. We're going to give away some prizes, get to it, so that we can get things moving along. So we have 29 amazing prizes. I'm going to go ahead and do it now, and we're going to find out exactly who these winners are. And Sean is going to, as I call out a prize number, he is going to tell me what the name is on there. Now, some of these names are nicknames that we have for some folks, and some of these names are others. I'm going to move my rotund ass over here. Just want to make sure that we are, in fact, recording here. We are. We're good. We're good. That would have been bad, but we're good. All right, so we are starting out. You okay, dear? Okay. All right, let's start out. Prize number 1. We have this amazing cheese board.
I was pressing buttons.
Oh, you were pressing buttons. Do you need some help?
All right, I just need to scroll up because I've got...
It's not a touch screen.
I know that.
Not that bougie.
I figured that one out before I started pressing buttons. I need to go up, Bobby. So
two fingers on the touchpad. Glide it up and down. Use 2 fingers, Sean.
Got it. Oh, my God. I fucking broke it.
You broke it.
I broke it.
All right, here we are. Well, let's have the Mac guy do it. There we go.
Oh, look at that shit.
Oh, look how good Joe is with 2 fingers. That's amazing.
I've never used a touchpad that way. Now we're learning shit.
All this shit's going to get cut out of the show. Or maybe not. Maybe not. What's our first name? Who's the winner? We have a cheese board here that comes to us courtesy from, this is from Christina's shop, all the way up in Alexandria Bay. This is really nice.
We got George Chapman.
George Chapman!
No, skip it.
Skip it. Wait, lactose intolerance? There you go.
Rig.
Enjoy. See, now you even have a prize runner. Prize number 2. This was a surprise one. This is a $100 gift card to a great restaurant, Casa de Lisa in Agawam. Great Italian food, great seafood. Who's our winner for our second prize?
Very appropriately, Cinnamon Rim Jobs.
Cinnamon Rim Jobs. Look at that. Now, Cinnamon Rim Jobs is half of this duo that play trivia. 2 different teams. They keep it classy. They play separately. I like that. They don't muddy the waters. But they play with me regularly at Casa de Lisa. They just got themselves a $100 gift card. Look at that. What is prize? Your face when he said Cinnamon Rim Jobs was... This is all worth it. I had hair before we started this. Number 3, we have another amazing offering. This is a beautiful photograph of a little lighthouse and a ship passing in the night. Who's the winner of this fine piece of art?
Oh, God. Get somebody ready to help her. Cinnamon Rim Jobs.
Oh, my God.
I wanted you to do some cardio.
You know what? This is good. I'm getting my steps in. Those edibles are starting to kick in. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight. Cinnamon Rim Jobs. And everybody gets to see me saunter, which I like.
I think, you know what? It's
for a big man, he moves with such grace.
Us trivia goers, I think we're a little desensitized now to all the shit that goes on at your trivia events, Bobby. And like I said that and didn't even wince.
Oh, my God. The Ship Motel?
Yes.
Oh.
Why don't you walk over to Chris and Christina, have them say a few words about the Ship Motel?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good idea. Guys, could you tell us a little bit about the Ship Motel?
No. Hey, Cinnamon Rim Jobs.
Let me just say, if you guys are going to fish up in the St. Lawrence River, Alexandria Bay area, this is, you can stay up there at the Ship Motel. Good stuff.
Ship,
Chris, do you want to say a few words?
Sure. No, I changed.
He changed his mind. I don't blame him. Who's our winner of this prize?
This was Kevin Mahoney.
Who is it?
Kevin Mahoney.
Kevin Mahoney. That's one of our online winners.
Okay, congrats
one of
to
our
Kevin.
online winners.
I haven't said congrats to Cinnamon Rim Jobs, and congrats to George Chapman.
Chris and Christina ate that whole thing of edibles on that table.
All right, so that's number 4. Number 5.
Number 5. What do we got?
Number 5, I have this picture here, which is signed by the artist. A nice shot of the bank. I believe this is Alexandria Bay.
Oh, it's Chicopee State Park.
Oh, it is Chicopee State Park. You can tell. You can tell. The box of Marlboro Reds and the swollen white Senko 10 feet off the bank.
Right next to the used condom.
Exactly. What do we got? Who's the winner of this fine piece of art?
That was number 6, right?
No, that was number 5.
Janelle Orsino.
Janelle Orsino. That's our guest on the show this week. And I'm going to have to mail this to her, which is great. Maybe they'll hang this up in the new bus that they're converting to travel the world in. This could be interesting. That was number 5. Where is number 6? Number 6 is fancy.
Fancy.
Number 6, we have these matching mug and shot glass pairing right here. These are beautifully handcrafted drinkware. Who's our winner for these?
Antonio Lavarone.
Antonio Lavarone. That's another online winner.
Good.
You've got to be kidding me. That is crazy. We got a lot of shipping to do. All right, let's see. That's number 6. We're looking for number 7. Another gift card. This is another restaurant, Central Massachusetts. It's actually a twofer. It's a gift card for the Porterhouse Restaurant in Sturbridge and Sturbridge Seafood. You can go either, whatever your preference is. What do we have, Sean? Who's winning this puppy?
Simply Aaron.
Simply Aaron. There we go. Look at that. Affectionately known as Quiz-topher Walken, the Quiz-topher Walken to his cinnamon rim job, if you know what I mean. Here we go, Aaron. Excellent job. How about number 8? When I get my fat ass over there, we'll know what that prize is. What is number 8? We've got a couple of nice photographs. This one fishing themed. We have a bunch of lures, what looks like on a workbench with a couple of bobbers. We also have a couple of sexy laydowns with some ducks.
Loons. Loons, how dare you?
They're loons. Oh my God. Cupcake Coley would have a stroke.
Yes.
Who's the winner of these 2 fine pieces of art?
This is our friend of the show, long time, Roadkill Nick.
Oh, it's Roadkill Nick. I'm going to bring these
to Ohio.
To Columbus, and we'll give them to Nick Leon at Oldfields. He'll love it. He'll love it. Let's see. He does need to keep watching on the roads. This is a good one, guys. We got a Dark Horse tackle box. Woo. And I don't even know what's in this sucker completely yet. It's pretty fancy.
I know 2 people we could ask.
Yeah.
They might even be here.
Do you guys want to talk about what's in this box? Guys, if it is proprietors of Dark Horse Tackle, we've got Josh Chitwood and Zach Fullard.
It's just a January box. It's the one we just recently packed. We had an extra one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's beautiful. Who doesn't love extra stuff? Who is... Yep.
There's some multi-species gems in there.
You told me that earlier. I'm looking forward to this. Who is the winner of this January Dark Horse Tackle box?
Dan Kinney.
Dan Kinney. Where's Dan? He just left. We'll send it to him. We'll send it to him. All right, let's see. Next up, that was number 9. Number 10, we have some fishy stuff right here. This is a little topwater box right here. We got some good stuff laid out here. Who's the winner of this?
Well, I know who won it, and I know who's going to use it. Christina Mellowship.
Christina Mellowship. Look at that. Now, I should let you know that you do, in fact, have a 1/4 ounce Lunker Hunt Spider in here, which is vintage.
We can sign that if necessary.
I'll put it between the 2 of you guys.
Because Chris is going to use the spider.
Purse out of the way or anything. I'd be that guy. All right. What are we at? That was what, number 10? We have number 11 right here. This is a twofer. Something for the home. Something for your tackle box. Something very nice for your tackle box. This bait right here is a jointed wake bait, and it is a collaboration bait from A-Bay Lure Lab, doing the paint, doing the woodworking, Klondike Custom Creations. Very, very, very interesting bait. Who is the winner of this fine prize?
Oh, Bobby, you're forgetting the other half.
The other half.
The beautiful wood Lazy Susan that was donated by eBay.
Yes.
Also goes with it. I decided to make this a combo because what goes better with a Lazy Susan than the best painted jointed wake bait I've ever seen in my life?
A giant jointed wake bait. Absolutely. Who's the winner?
All right. Everyone brace yourselves. Cinnamon rim jobs.
Shut the hell up. Are you serious? Oh my God.
How many fucking tickets did you buy?
1,000.
We should have mentioned beforehand, we had a discussion about this last week, and we decided to let multiple winners go in the hope of people buying more tickets, and it obviously worked because...
It clearly did.
That's an excellent Lazy Susan that somebody spent $5,000 to $10,000 on.
That bait is wonderful. Oh, you did? Look at that. Oh, they said Joe picked the right seat to sit in right there. Nice job. We've got, so that was number, I believe 11. Where is number 12? What do we have here? Oh, I should say that Lazy Susan is from North Country Woodworking. I have the paperwork here if you guys want it. I'll leave it right over here. Where is number 12? Well, this is a good one for the office. You know what? And I'm going to double down on this. We have a Thousand Islands calendar as well as a Bolt Castle mouse pad. Great for your office, but no office is really complete unless they have a Topless Timmy Jakes calendar as well. Because if anybody knows, Topless Timmy Jakes ties together anybody's office. Brian, I have a spare if you need one for your office. Boom. Who's this going to, Sean?
Cheryl Bentley.
Cheryl Bentley.
Cheryl needs more Tim nipples in her life.
You know what's funny? Cheryl actually has one of these going to her.
Now she's got 2.
All right. Okay. We'll
one for home, one for the office.
We'll go ahead and we'll do that. Oh my God, we have another gift card for the Ship Motel. Mellow Ships, you're too kind to us. Oh my God. Number 13. Oh, this is beautiful. Is this that same castle? This is gorgeous. This looks like it's some type of acrylic. Oh, this is very fancy. This is beautiful. And is this that same castle? Both castle? Yeah. So this is something great for the home. Who is the winner of this prize?
13, correct?
This is number 13, yes.
Yep.
Aaron, look at that. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad you guys are winning something. I mean, save a little bit of something for the rest of our team.
Christian, be sure to thank that table for all the donations.
Yeah, this is wild. That's gorgeous, too. It's absolutely beautiful and very light, too. So you can hang that puppy wherever you want. No studs necessary. Am I right, hon? Let's go ahead and move on to prize number 14. This is another gift card for the Ship Motel. No shag carpet. No theme rooms.
I just hit that.
That's the Pines. You guys can go there later. It's in Chicopee. What do we have here? Ship Motel? Shut up.
That's number 14.
Yep.
We're going to swap that with number 15.
Okay.
We're going to give that to Kevin Mahoney, another multiple winner.
This is going to Kevin Mahoney?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do number 15. We have a beautiful print here. This one has a tag on it. It's from Scarlett Tenager, and it is a real feather on hand-printed image. Beautiful frame. Who is winning this one?
We're going to give that to Binya.
Binya, look at that. All right, number 16. This one is interesting for the tackle box, maybe actually for the cooler, maybe for the boat. Or for the home. It's a small cutting board in the shape of a fish. Little charcuterie. Yeah, a little snackle box, if you will. Sean, who's getting this?
Hold your breath.
I'm holding.
Cinnamon rim jobs.
This is amazing.
Rousing
this is
applause.
Truly amazing. This is not going to end well for Riffle Raffle. I've done this a bunch. Congratulations. We'll go ahead and I have a cart that you guys can use to wheel your stuff out if it's easier. You can use the human lifter to move it along. That was number 16. Now we're on number 17. This is another Casa de Lisa gift card.
That goes to Christina Mellowship.
Christina Mellowship. Look at that. Hold on. Let me do this the right way. Christina, here you go. That's much better. See, I learned quick. So that's 17. We have 18. This is a beautiful hand-painted Christmas ornament. Who's this going to?
Janelle Orsino.
Janelle Orsino. All right, we'll pop this guy over here. This is another one to ship. All right, cool. That is 18. 19 is a little three-piece. We've got some wax potpourri melts from the river. We have a hand-poured candle. We also have some Lakeside Lodge. This is something like a moisturizer or a lotion.
That is Cheryl Bentley again. Get that package ready for her.
Oh my God, Cheryl Bentley. All right. This is more shipping than I wanted to do. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We're going to double this one up. We're going to throw a pair of Torres sunglasses in here. We have another really nice smaller print. Is this also a loon or is this a cormorant?
That is a loon.
Nobody
paints cormorants. They're dirty, disgusting animals. The state of New York wants them exterminated. It's all good. We like loons. Loons are pretty because they have white dots on them.
Who's getting this wonderful print?
That is Alec Plotnikevich. Oh, man,
Alec Plotnikevich.
Jacked Alec's name up. I'm sorry, Alec.
Last week's guest right there. He could definitely use another pair of sunglasses. So we're at 20, 21. A very fishy prize. A very, very, very fishy prize. This is an A-Bay lure mixed bag, if you will, of amazing baits. We've also got some Adirondack hand soap that is apparently fisherman approved. What do we have for this little gift bag?
The Bearded Angler.
The Bearded Angler. Look at that. Joe, nice job. I know you guys are over here thinking, oh, Bobby's the Bearded Angler. I'm not the only one. That's a common thing. Here you go, Joe. Congratulations. You got a nice little plopper bait in here, square bill. Looks like a jerk bait and a swim bait, all kinds of good stuff. Enjoy. Catch a donkey on one of those. All right, next prize. That was number 21. Next up, number 22. It's another A-Bay lure gift bag of all kinds of goodies. So this one has a popper in it, jerk bait. Who's the winner here?
You know where you're going with that, right?
Cinnamon rim jobs?
Cinnamon rim jobs.
There you go. Thank you.
Christian is hand delivering this with hugs more than likely.
Hold on a second. How many tickets has this man bought? Number 23. We have a beautiful handcrafted bowl here, enamel. This might even be stoneware. Who is the winner of this? Number 23.
Antonio Leverone again, so that can get shipped out
Antonio
to him.
Leverone.
Yeah.
All right. That is number 23. Number 24, some more fishy prizes. This one, a bit of a veritable tackle shop smorgasbord. If you like power bait, this is for you. We got an we've got an ice tip up. We've got a giant. What is this? Oh, we got so much power bait. We got a couple of lures in here and a bunch of line as well. Who is the winner of this one here? Number 20. What is it, 24?
Throw a calendar in there because this man needs nipples in his life.
Okay, so it's going to somebody nippleless. We'll throw a calendar in there. And you know what? Because it's such a fishy prize, and we need to get rid of these, the Torres sunglasses as well.
Hand it to Binya.
Hand it to Binya. Binya, you got your white bucket you always wanted. Look at that.
White bucket, good. Nipples, great.
Nipples, better. Let's be honest here. I have been waiting to give away this amazing prize all night long. This prize comes from a regional company that is veteran-owned. Mark Serrano created an amazing product. It's called Andy's Heat Your Meat. It's salt-free. It's super spicy. He has a mild version with a totally different flavor profile, as well as in everything but the bagel seasoning, a salt, pepper, garlic seasoning, and some barbecue rub as well. Who's winning this puppy?
We have a special prize presenter for this prize.
We do.
Christian's going to help you out. We know where this bad boy's going.
Is it going to Cinnamon Rim Jobs?
It is Cinnamon Rim Jobs again.
Dare I say it? Maybe this will change his luck. Cinnamon Rim Jobs licking up the competition tonight, folks.
Cinnamon Rim Jobs, now part owners of Veterans Inc. Congratulations on your investment.
Number 26, we have a beautiful tie-dye hoodie and a little. It looks like an infinity scarf right here. Oh no, it's a standard scarf. with a basket. Beautiful little combination.
Little upset about this one. Little upset.
Is it going to Aaron?
No, it might mean the end of the calendar because that shirt goes to Topless Timmy Jakes. He can cover himself now.
Topless Timmy Jakes can cover himself? No. You know what he's going to do? He'll give that to Tina, and he's going to wear the scarf in the pictures. That's what it is.
Scarfs of the month from Topless Timmy Jakes. We're good.
My God. What do we got? Oh, this is a great prize. Number 27. This is from Wormtown Brewery in Worcester, Massachusetts. We have 2 pint glasses. We have a koozie. We got pens, stickers, a keychain, a Wormtown shirt, and a pin. I think that there is also a gift card to the brewery in here as well. I'm not 100% sure. Who's the winner of this puppy?
Fish Daddy 401.
Fish Daddy 401. That is perfect. You're going to love this, man. I think you're going to enjoy that a lot. Next up, number 28. We have 2 more prizes. We have a jewelry assortment right here. Some earrings, a necklace, a couple of bracelets. Really nice stuff. If your daughters are or whomever is into crystals like mine are, they might really enjoy this. Number 28. Who is the winner here? We're also going to throw in a Topless Timmy Jakes calendar.
Nope. Bobby, hold off on the Topless Timmy Jakes.
Hold off on the Topless?
Yeah, hold off on it. There's a reason.
Okay.
Because Binya doesn't need 2 of them.
Binya doesn't need 2. Well, this is good because we know this is going.
Yeah.
2 Topless Timmy Jakes calendars. You were going over it. Fair enough. Fair enough. I like that. I like where you guys are. This table, I feel like we brought so many amazing folks together at this table. That's what we really do. We build relationships. We're community involvement.
So the breath before the plunge.
Yeah.
We are here. We are at
number 29.
29 is a special item that I put together yesterday. I had a brainstorm, and I called up Bobby, and I said, we need to get some plastic worms together for the taco piñata. Whoever hits this taco piñata will be wearing a sombrero to do it.
Yep.
Because we have to get in the spirit. Also, before we divulge the winner of this excellent piñata, I would like the last Topless Timmy Jakes calendar to go to Veterans Inc. so that when I visit Christian...
Oh, fair enough.
Bonus of seeing Timmy Jake's nipples.
Yeah.
When I visit Christian. Everywhere in America, I want to go. I go to Chipotle, I want to see the calendar, but I do want to visit Christian and see that.
Fair enough.
I know he's interested in it. So let's fire that to him.
Okay, we'll get that to him. Who is getting the taco piñata?
We have to get a striking implement and get that thing hung up.
We do.
For Chris Pendergast.
Chris Pendergast with the taco piñata. Here's your calendar. Beautiful. Oh, look at that.
Don the sombrero, Chris.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Oh, very, very good. 8,000 prizes, but you get the taco. Amazing.
You're going to like that.
You're going to like that. There's actually some good stuff in there.
It looks like a taco, but it's a lot of plastic baits and some other fun stuff.
It's a ton of plastics.
Yeah.
I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who came out today. You guys are amazing. We appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the Jigs and Bigs family, but thank you even more for helping raise some funds for Veterans Inc., which we think is just absolutely amazing. How about a round of applause, guys? So we're going to take this break. We're going to bust open this piñata and wrap things up because we're running way over schedule. I apologize for all that. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
Guys, I apologize for the end of this segment here. Things kind of got trailed off into a bunch of babbling of, thanking folks and things like that. Anyway, editing Bobby here. Wanted to jump in and say that we are going to be right back with a fantastic interview from our guest this week, Janelle Orsino. You have heard her name come up a couple of times in the raffles, and we've got her in the beef seat, and she's telling us all about her fishing adventures, also her bushcraft adventures as well. Some pretty cool stuff, and some plans that she and her wife have for traveling around North America with their custom-built bus, and then plans to even go a little bit further into Europe and I believe Asia and potentially Africa. Who knows? It could be globetrotting. Anyway, great stuff coming up in just a bit. Don't go too far. We got much more Jigs and Bigs coming right up right after this. Hey guys, Bobby Roast Beef here from Jigs and Bigs. You know, if there's one thing I can't stand spending money on, it's on something that's not versatile, something that I can't get a lot of use out of. I want to talk to you about Frost Buddy. What Frost Buddy is it's one of those can coolers. I've seen these before. In fact, I have some that are limited to only fitting one specific size of can, like a standard 12-ounce can. I stumbled onto Frost Buddy, and I was blown away with it. So versatile. Fits standard cans, tall cans, slim cans, and even 12-ounce bottles. And the magic is the insert fits all of these items in various stages within the insert. And when you take that out, you can fit a full 16-ounce tall boy can. In fact, it even doubles down on being versatile with the coffee lid. And on my recent trip to Chickamauga, I had a field day with this thing. I was throwing beer cans in it. I'd have coffee in the morning. On the drive, I was throwing in all different sizes of cans for different canned coffee products to keep me awake on the long drive back. The thing was amazing. So I recommend you check out Frost Buddy. If you're in the market for either a travel cup for your coffee or a can cooler at all, either one of those, check it out. For the money, you cannot go wrong. What I've done is this. In the show notes for this podcast you're listening to right now, if you look there, you'll find a link to Frost Buddy where you can get yours. And not only can you go and get your Frost Buddy there, but you can help out the show as well. Go and visit that link in the show notes to this podcast. Check out a Frost Buddy. Tons of colors, tons of patterns, all kinds of great stuff. And it's a great spot to put your Jigs and Bigs sticker too. Take it from me, Bobby Roast Beef. You're going to get the most versatility out of this one product, probably out of anything you're ever going to buy, especially for anything that you're drinking. Frost Buddy. It works for me. I'm a happy guy. Jigs and Bigs is your favorite fishing podcast, right? Why not show the world how much you love the show while directly supporting us? We have men's and ladies' shirts, hoodies, and a variety of hats. We even have a waterproof outdoor Bluetooth speaker so you can listen to your favorite podcast while out on the water if you like. Check out jigsandbigs.com/shop to visit the store and gear yourself up. If you really can't get enough of this show, consider becoming a jighead and joining our Patreon. It's a subscription that gives you exclusive access to recording sessions that allow you to engage with us as we record the show. We also have some exclusive content there just for our jig heads and even have some special promo codes. Space is limited, so join now at jigsandbigs.com. Finally, if you're local to our area in Western Massachusetts, consider checking out the Western Mass Fishing Report, posted weekly at northeastwildwoman.com. We have amazing contributors providing great content and info for local conditions and what's been going on and working recently. Jigs and Bigs, so much more than just two lightly roasted hippies trapped in the 90s arguing on the internet about fishing. Everybody, we are back. Episode 201. This is the one that we've been talking about for a while. And I have the guest for this week's episode. And as it would happen to turn out, the person who was actually supposed to be in the seat right now had something come up and needed to reschedule. So my next interview in line, I happened to call up this guest and I said, look, let's put you in the big show. We'll put you in episode 201. Guys, I've mentioned her on the show before, Janelle Orsino with us. And Janelle is I should just say an absolute outdoors, and I say outdoors intentionally, not just fishing, but outdoors in general, enthusiast of the utmost degree, a budding content creator and podcaster. She's just absolutely awesome. And she hit me up a couple months ago and had asked a couple of questions and had some very, very complimentary things for your very own Bobby Roast Beef. And we hit it off right away. We made plans actually to be recording this in her area, a little further down the eastern seaboard. And unfortunately, thanks to the way things worked out, we just bumped this sucker up. And actually, those plans ended up getting canceled because I have an event going on. It's just a wild time of year. Janelle, how are you? How are things?
I am so good. How are you, man? It is an honor to be here. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on. I am a huge fan. I look up to you. I respect you hugely. And what you do is amazing. And I can only hope that I can get there one day and we can
absolutely can.
Up on the charts together.
Fuck yeah, you absolutely can. I don't even know. I'm such an old fart. I can't find the charts. I don't even know where the charts are. I'm like, what Alexis, is this Google? I don't even know when it comes to that shit. So I just kind of do what I do, and you absolutely can set your goals, follow your dreams, and make it happen. It's absolutely possible. I am a sucker. You know this. I'm a sucker for an origin story, though. And you said something. You're like, I know you've got 2 daughters, and I'm an absolute daddy's girl. My father's brought me into the outdoors. I want to hear the story. Let's talk about that, and also touch on some of the other outdoor elements that you get into aside from fishing.
Right. Okay. So I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey, and it was 2 of us. So my parents, I'm the oldest, and I have a younger brother. My dad's one of 3 brothers. And when they told my mom that she was having a girl, she was like, you better double, triple check that, because every of the other brothers had boys. Oh. So it was like, I was the first girl, and I was like the first girl grandchild on my dad's side. So it's a big deal. And, ever since, I came out, was running around, I just remember like playing with my cousins and just like clinging to my dad. Like my dad and I were the same person. We have the same personality. We click the same way. Like we just have always it's when we get together, like things just happen, and it's an amazing, organic chemistry. And my grandfather, he was in the Korean War, so he was very proud of that. And he got a piece of land up in Pennsylvania about 3 hours away. So we would spend our weekends sometimes going up. He had a little camper trailer, and we would camp up there on the weekends. And I would get like the full outdoors, like outdoorsman experience. Running around the woods, making fires with my cousins, like poking like catching frogs and all that stuff. And then on my mom's side, my grandparents had a trailer. So we would always go down towards the beach, so towards Wildwood, New Jersey. Yep. So I had the best of both worlds. I had like the seaside, and then I would have like the mountain outdoor side, and everything just always kind of blended together. And that's where I found that I was the happiest. Yep. And I don't know, something about my dad. He's got this charm. When you hug your dad, I don't know. I just fit perfectly in his arms. I just feel like a little, secure little person. And he's just an amazing person. He's a construction guy. He can build and fix anything. I swear to you. You give him a project or a task, and he can do it. And he's just very nice, just a lovable guy. He's a goofball. He loves kids and dogs. I get that from him. We're both great with just people. Like he's just a really great person. And the way that him and my mom raised me, like I'm super proud to have the upbringing that I have.
That's awesome.
And the background that I have. Yeah. So shout out to my dad. He's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. I mean, I love it because like I've taken a little bit of a dive into some of your content, and I've seen some of the fishing videos, especially like the ones in Champlain with your dad, that I was like, that is awesome. I'm like, and I'll be honest with you. I think you not only have to enter the multi-species scavenger hunt series. I think you got to get him on it too.
Yeah, he's okay. If you think I have bad ADHD, you should see that man run around. I don't think we could contain him for long enough.
I think personally, I think ADHD folks make the best anglers. I don't know. There's just something about it. I don't know if there's just a mindset thing or whatever. It's just I don't know.
We can like dial it in, or we pay attention to literally everything that's going on, that we can kind of adapt. Like we remember something that happened earlier. We're like, oh yeah, let's just do this, whatever, and throw that on. And then that works. And then, okay, something small has changed and we notice it because we're just like squirrel, tree, plane. Like,
yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're just like, what was that behind me? Oh, I might as well throw one over here. If I remember properly, there's a lay down right over there that was produced pretty good. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Now, the other element that you're really into that I think is awesome is like the bushcraft stuff. I think that is so fucking cool.
Dude, I'm going to dabble more into it, especially this year, but it is amazing when you look back at like the history of just human beings in general and how we used to have to survive and the skills that we had. Oh, yeah. And you go back and you take that in the woods and you just really get like down into it. You just really connect with nature, and it's just a whole different experience. It really is.
There's a bushcraft content creator out of the Northeast called Cold Cracker Bushcraft. And great, you're familiar. Yeah,
of course.
He's a Pennsylvania guy too, I think.
I've been obsessed with him for the last like year. I found him and I was like, it's in Pennsylvania. My wife is like, oh my God.
He does the coolest shit. Like the coolest shit. And like there's a part of me that just loves that because I look at it like this, like the outdoors, like everything, it's just all one big ball of adventure. So like for me, like I love, especially when I get to talk with like overland creators or just other folks that enjoy like truck camping and stuff like that. I'm like, I've always hated labels. I'm an old punk. Like I fucking hate labels. You know what I mean? But like fisherman, angler, I wear that one proudly. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like as proudly as I do like father and husband. You know, it's like they're equal. I'm like, but everything else just kind of falls under fishing for me. And so like for me, like going out and like I have no desire to go and ruin my Forerunner on some trail. But I need the capability to be able to get my kayak into some of these spots. And, you know, I like the fact that I can turn a long drive out to fish some new water into a 2 or 3 night stay really cheap by camping in my vehicle. So I'm like, it all kind of works out together. And it's crazy. So like the bushcraft stuff definitely piques my interest from the camping element, you know? I don't know that I'm as crafty as I should be for some of this stuff. You seem to do okay with it because you've got videos like you've built shit in the woods and like you've done full on like catch and cooks with like no tools. Like it's cool.
I try. Yeah, it is really cool. It's a craft that you're always building on, and there's never anything in the world that you can say that you have all the skills and all of the knowledge. You need to always be evolving. If you ever hit that point when you're saying that, you've already lost the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, just you said you don't like labels. I like pushing myself, and I love watching people do things that they're passionate about. And then when I see that, I get passionate about it and I want to try it immediately. So bushcraft is just something that like and fishing as well, like go in there and make a hobo hand reel and try to catch a trout with a hand line and then provide a meal for yourself. It's just, there's so many layers to the outdoors. Like you said, there's overlanding, there's bushcraft, there's kayak fishing, there's float fishing. Like we were watching this guy do a 5-day steelhead float in like thunderstorms the other night in Michigan, and me and my wife were like, "We're gonna do that. We're gonna do it from the kayak, but we're gonna do that." Like,
the other element I think that is amazing too with the outdoors, and it never clicked with me right away. My dad used to do like an annual trip to Champlain, which is I look at Champlain as a relatively local water. I mean, I could be there within a handful of hours, you know. Same thing with like the St. Lawrence River and stuff. But to me, in a way, some of those areas are like destinations because I wouldn't go there for a day and come back. It is too far for that.
You can't do that.
You know, if I'm going to put the effort into going, I'm going to sink some time into it, and I think that's worth it. And that's another part of I think the outdoors. And all the activities that I love is the travel element. And I think that's huge. It's so weird. I really have no desire to go outside of North America for the most part. Like I do want to fish Mexico. I want to fish in Canada. I don't really have the draw, although my wife, and we're going to talk travel in a minute because you just came back from a pretty awesome trip. But my wife has this idea that the entire family is going to Japan for like 2 or 3 weeks. No idea where. And I have a cousin that lives in Seoul, Korea. So she's like, we might as well visit Brendan while we're there. And I'm like, why not? Because we're fucking made of money and we're going to be world travelers now. I'm like, geez, are you kidding me?
Let's go.
But she did sign off. She's like, isn't there like some like famous lake in Japan that's like known for bass fishing? I was like, Lake Biwa. Absolutely there is. And she's like, maybe since we're going to be there, it'd be a good idea for you to find a guide and go do something like that. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You can go to that cat cafe or whatever it is that you want to go to. You shit
They're
like
popular.
That. Oh, I know. There's a dime a dozen. So I told her,
I would love to go.
I'm like, yeah, we could definitely do this. So that is about like as far as like globe trotting that I would like really be interested in. Do you have any kind of desires all around the world that like places where you want to go? Oh, really? Everywhere?
Everywhere. We want to go everywhere.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the road trip that we're going on is the whole U.S., Alaska, Canada, and then we're going to wind up in Portugal probably buying an old used RV just because shipping the bus and the whole rig
it's crazy.
there.
Yeah, it's intense.
But we're going to need it when we're back here. Like when we're back here in America, we're going to need a place to land. Obviously, we have our parents and stuff, but you still want your own privacy. And then after that, like when you're in Portugal, a train, you know, to wherever in Europe is very inexpensive. So travel there is super affordable and very accessible. Yeah. So we have plans to go everywhere.
Good for you. That is fucking awesome.
I know.
There are, you know, I love that you mentioned too, like your wife. I think you're so lucky because she has passion for the outdoors as well. And I think that is amazing. Like anytime I meet somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I fish with my spouse regularly or my significant other. And it's like, I'm so jealous about that. I try so hard to get Queen Beef out with me. She won't get in a kayak. I'm thinking about buying a boat now. You know,
I know it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's insane. I don't know that it's going to happen. I really.
What do you? Okay, if you get a boat, what are you naming it? Like,
what am I naming it?
Like, what are you going to name it? It's got to be food. It's got to be something food related.
I would think so. Probably something beef related, one way or the other.
Yeah.
The SS Wagyu. I don't know. I'll have to toy around with that. You know, it's funny. I do have an unofficial name for my kayak.
Oh, okay.
It's the Green Goblin.
Green, of course.
The Green Goblin, of course. It was actually one of the first names, and I even have a stupid name for my truck. I call it, everybody says they love the color of my truck. It's Army Green. Okay. And I'm like, when people ask, like, what color's your truck? I'm like, it's green pumpkin. Because it's decked out with fishing stickers everywhere. It's got, my tow hitch has a bass on it. Like, it's ridiculous.
That's great. Her Tacoma, she named her Tacoma Tony, after Tony Stark, because Soraya is a huge Marvel fan.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That's awesome.
And my dad's boat is unofficially named Copper because he did a lot of scrap metal to like save up for the boat.
Gotcha.
So me and my brother were like, you have to name it Copper because you work. I mean, you did so many side jobs. It paid for the boat. So
that's a fucking good idea.
We name things in this household. We definitely throw some names out at things.
No, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. I love the. So let's talk about like your project that the two of you are working on. Would I be remiss to say the term van lifer is like in your future?
Bus lifer, but van life is the same thing, just different vehicle. We have. I bought. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna age myself. I'm 29. I'm not that old.
Oh my God, you're a baby.
Okay, but I bought the bus when I was 21, and it just feels like it has taken forever. But I have a 2020. Oh my God, 2010 Ford Econoline bus. It's like a 5-window school bus, and I've been converting that into a tiny home so I could travel and do all of these amazing things.
Yep.
But in the back of my mind, I always knew I kind of needed a +1, and my dad has been my wingman. Like my dad has been the guy. Like, Dad, I have this idea, and he'll build it with me. And he'll show me how to do stuff.
Yep.
And then when it's too complicated, I just kind of sit there with the camera and film him while he's doing it, and I'm like in awe of him, and I'm just like, wow. And then I kind of put the bus aside because life happens and you kind of get a little deterred. I'll be honest. It was a really tough pill to swallow when you're realizing like it's taking years and years and years and you just feel like you're not getting there.
Yeah.
So I started, went on a dating app, met my wife, and we started dating long distance for a little while, got together, got engaged, and we're getting married. And I'm like, okay, I have to settle down now. I have to get the house, and we have to do the big girl job, and we have to do like the things that people tell you you're supposed to be doing. Let's throw these little side dreams aside, and like, we'll get to that at a different point in time.
If we can get there, sure.
And she was like, you should finish the bus. And I'm like, whatever. She's like, no, you should finish it. Like, we should travel. And I'm like, what do you mean we should travel? Like, just tell me what your thoughts are. And she was like, well, I'm willing to hit the road with you. Like, she's always been one to be looking for jobs everywhere in the US. Like, we could go to any state. She'd be like, I applied to go to school here and I applied to different jobs here. She's like, I think I had the nomadic mindset before you did. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go for it, I guess. And she was like, why not? We're just getting married. We don't have kids. We don't have like a house and like no crazy big responsibilities. So why not take some of the money we get from the wedding, finish the bus, and like travel and like experience the world the way we want to experience it for right now and really have that like trip of a lifetime. And I'm like, well, I'm sold. Like, you had me, had me a while ago. You didn't have to keep wasting your breath, baby. I'm in it to win it. So let's do it.
That's so fucking awesome, man. It's so good that, and it's crazy too. Like, I mean, hindsight is always 20/20. I look back and I think to myself, I'm like, I always tell. You nailed it there with two things. No house, no kids. There's nothing tying you down. Go on that adventure. Do what you can do and do it while you're young, or younger. And that's a huge, huge deal. I look back on, because you can't get it back. I look back, there was a year in time, and a lot of people, when I tell them this, they're just like, get the fuck out of here. Really? I lived on a lake for a year with my best friend in a house that he inherited. It was just a shit little private lake, but I had access. There were canoes and kayaks that were in the backyard. It would have been nothing for me to run to Walmart and get a fishing rod. I never fished that year. entirely. That entire time I was there, nothing.
It hurts my heart.
And it was ridiculous. And I look back and I'm like, the things that I want, like a big inspiration for me was so John B from the Guggen Squad, right?
He's my favorite.
Dude has a gift for the visual media. He's got a gift.
Yeah, I want to be there one day.
His videos are amazing. He's a great storyteller. But what really inspired me when I was young, a few years ago, I should say, it was like 2018, was the series he came out. He just came out with the third version of it, the Never Stop Tour, right? Like, I'm like, if I would have just done that shit, like I played in bands in my late teens, early 20s and shit like that. I never had any real, like, it's so much more rewarding going and doing these fishing trips, I find.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what the fuck I was thinking back then. I'm like, if I would have just put the drumsticks down and picked up a fishing rod, things could have been so much more different. So that's part of the reason why I have such a fire under my ass right now to go and do as much as I can, because I do think I've got like 40 years of time where I just drop the ball. Like I really, really let it go, you know? And so we have guests all the time that talk about, I came into fishing later in life, or lots of times, especially with the pandemic, it was just COVID that kind of got them going because they had the time and they made that investment. They're like, I have a real passion for this. We're going to continue to see where it goes. Or maybe they put it down. That's up to them, Right. It's just amazing. I'm like, so I have a lot of respect for those anglers that come to it a little bit later. But personally, you guys, you have nothing tying you down. Go for it.
No.
Go,
That's now I haven't told my parents yet. And that's, it's the scariest part. I know. It's a big tea. I'm spilling the tea right now. I have not told them that I'm leaving the Postal Service, like the big girl job, and that we're going to hit the road for like 6 months. They know that something's up because we have been working on this bus since like the summer. Like me and her have been like there as much as possible. They know that we want to travel, but they just don't know.
It's going to be a 6-month stretch.
Listen, I have the old school Italian parents with the old school mindset.
Yeah. You got to work. I know exactly what you're saying.
And my brother has kind of distanced himself, so I am like the kid that everybody focuses on right now, and it's I don't know how to talk to them about it. I know that I have to, and I love my parents, respect them, love them dearly. Yeah. It's a conversation I'm not looking forward to, and I don't want to just blurt it out. Because I have a habit of just blurting it out.
Oh yeah,
sometimes like I didn't tell them about my tattoo for a little while because my mom hates tattoos.
Yeah. Oh man,
hates them. Oh. And I showed her it, and her jaw was just like. She was like, "Okay, whatever. You got the word yes tattooed on your arm. Okay."
There you go.
And I love them. We have a great relationship. It's scary because you don't want to let them down. You don't want to disappoint them. You don't. Yeah, I don't. And also, me and Soraya are so excited. Like this, it feels like everything is right, like that we're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
We're afraid to kind of bring in other sources that are going to bring a little bit of fog down.
Yeah. Yep.
And right now, we need to get our bearings and make sure that we are strong so that when people are coming in with their opinions, we can deflect them and handle it and know that we are doing the right thing.
I mean, the thing is, like at the end of the day, like even though you're right, like there's that old school mentality of like, but what are you going to do for work or something like that? And we'll talk about that in a second. But the big one that I find is that parents, like especially in like I would say the Gen X parents, they're a little bit more understanding of young people going after what they want to go after. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's more a concern about their ability to support themselves. In some situations, they're like, I don't want to support you while you're out doing this. How are you going to make this work? So it's like, if you're saving enough money to live and go do this, do it. Go for it. Because I'm telling you, you're going to be able to come back and get that same job. You know what I mean? It's there.
That's my mentality, 100%.
100%.
Jobs are there. When I told like the other coworkers that I was leaving the post office, they're like, "But what are you gonna do?" And I'm like, "Anything."
Everybody says that shit.
Anything. You're not tied down to one thing. It's so possible to pick up and anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Even if we go to Portugal, I can pick up something somewhere. There's areas that there are a lot of people that also speak more English than Portuguese. Like anywhere you go, you can pick up money. Or you can get a virtual job. Like it's possible.
That's exactly it. Like there are things that you can do to kind of make it happen while you're out there. So it's so funny. Like I have, you talk about like interesting conversations with like, you know, you're the ones that care about you and everything, you know, when you're leaving, you know, a position or taking a risk. So when, you know, again, like it was time to take responsibility. We had 2 kids, we were married, we were leaving our apartment, we bought a house, right? That was the biggest mistake we never should have bought a house. Ever. Like it was great for the equity. Don't get me wrong. There are great things about that. We bought a 100-year-old house and we were both kicking ourselves for it. Like it was just a mistake. We could afford it. We were like, yeah, of course. You know, we need a yard. We need these things. And we're like, honestly, we really don't. It's not for everybody. So that was part of the mistake. But I realized that like the job that I had sunk 20 years into, working in television was not going to cut the mustard anymore. So I had to start a side hustle. I got back into DJing and entertaining and stuff like that. I stopped playing music really because of it. And it got to a point where I was making enough hosting trivia in bars, literally asking drunks random questions. And I was making more doing that my direct deposit from the job I went to college to get was not doing anything for me. It was just like that deposit would go in. I didn't even notice it because I wasn't even living off of it, you know? And it got to the point I was like, I'm going to give it a year. I go, the next time one of my supervisors pisses me off, I go, I'm putting in my letter of resignation. And it was the most cathartic and most like therapeutic thing I had ever done mentally. It was amazing how much freer. But it's like literally jumping off a cliff. It really is because you're like, holy fuck. But if you grind, you can make it happen. That's the whole thing is if you just go for it. And then recently, there's been this piece of content floating around social media where the audio says like, there was a guy who had left his position at work where I work. And, you know, a year later, that position was full and everything, you know. And when he left, no, it wasn't even left the job. It was died. Somebody died and they left the job. And which is much more serious, right?
Yes.
And they're like, there's all this sick time, all this vacation time, all this stuff that accrued that went nowhere. That was absolutely wasted. So like take advantage of like those adventures and go and you know, do the things that you want to do that you're passionate about with your family, with the people close to you. Because when it's gone, it's gone. You know, you got to take full advantage of it. I think you'd be surprised how much they'll support you. I think you will.
I know. It's just scary. It's just scary. But oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. That's what happens when you have ADHD.
Oh, I hear you. Well, one of the things I wanted to throw out there was you had mentioned like virtual jobs and stuff. So what's your plan? Like when you guys go out, like what do you have set up so far?
So for me, grind on the YouTube game, grind on the podcast game, and try to do my best to get that going because I was able to save a little bit of money when I was working at the post office, and I'm still working right now part-time. So I'm trying to save here and there and put that money towards making that a reality. And Soraya actually yesterday just got offered a remote job. So she will be working remotely as a translator for a company. Because she's bilingual. She speaks Portuguese. That's her first language. So she got that job, and she's basically going to kind of cover my ass a little bit while I do the thing that I've been dreaming about doing since like 2012. So
you got a
huge shout out to her.
You got a real like rock star, like cheerleader there helping you get. That's amazing. Good. Hold on. You deserve it. Amazing.
She is the most incredible person in the entire world. I am yesterday driving home from work. I was just like, I am just so blessed and honored to be the one that she comes home to, that she wants to be with.
Yeah.
And
the one that she believes in, you know, that's amazing.
Yes. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've never had somebody in my corner as much as I have had her. And I would hope that it's the same way with her, with me. We love each other unconditionally and we support the crap out of each other.
That's
and
awesome.
Nothing is too crazy, kind of. I'm the wild one in the relationship. She's the more like, okay, we need to make sure we're covered and we have all of our ducks in a row. And I'm like, live a little. But it's like the perfect combination.
Yeah, you need that. You need the yin to the yang, you know?
Mm-hmm. I've gotten my hooks in her a little bit. I've gotten her to have a little bit more edge, and she's gotten me to be like, okay, let's sit down and like budget and figure out.
It's smart.
It's perfect.
That's great.
And she loves the outdoors, like you said. So we get to do everything together, and it's amazing.
That is awesome. Let's pivot a little bit here. Get right back to fishing. So, you know, you've grown up fishing. You've been fishing a long time. Do you have a favorite method or a favorite species to target?
Oh man, largemouth and smallmouth in that order, but they're also kind of equal. Last year, snakehead had, oh my God, the snakehead that we were catching in the spring, like, had my heart. I love every species. I really want to target some big pike this year from the kayak. I even love trout fishing and panfish if you have like that ultralight gear. I just love chasing species. I love the challenge of every single species. Carp. I have been watching carp fishing videos. Yep. I'm like obsessed. I've been trying to mess with making carp baits at home. She's like, what are you doing? Like, you can't even go fishing. I'm like, I don't care. I want to do it all. I just want to do it all, man. I love it. And saltwater. She got me in saltwater fishing. I did a little bit of surf fishing. Caught my first fluke, from the shore. He was a keeper, so we got to bring him home and eat him.
That's awesome.
And just everything about fishing. I just love it. Yeah. From the bank, from the shore, from the jetty, from the kayak is my heart. From a boat. It's an amazing sport.
I love that. I think that's the thing. I really do feel like the multi-species angler, the folks that are really passionate about any kind of species, I think that we often kind of get a little bit overlooked. You know, I feel like it's so easy to take a leap into bass fishing. It's so accessible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to really hurt you if you hold them. You know what I mean?
No,
like you're not gonna get, you know, sliced open by a sharp tooth or something and bleed out. You're good.
Right.
You know, the worst that's gonna happen, they're gonna spine you maybe on the dorsal fin. But like, you know, it's not that. So it's like it's accessible. They're also, you know, people talk about bass. They say, like, I forget who it was, but somebody was like, oh, we go out and we try to catch the hardest species to catch. I call bullshit on that. I think bass are such savage predators that, like, it's so simple. I've like, and it was really the multi-species scavenger hunt series that opened my eyes to that, because I would be like, okay, native fish that I need. There's not so many native fish. Out of the three main freshwater species of fish that we have native in Massachusetts, I've only caught 2, and I've targeted all of them. Yellow perch and chain pickerel, right? Those are native. The other one's a brook trout. In all my years of fishing, I've never caught a brookie ever. And I'm hoping that this year is going to be. Last year, I had a really, really good experience trout fishing, and this year I took the dive into BFS. And I'm really hoping to kind of dive into that a little bit more, and you know, get on a brookie. Browns and rainbows
I want to get
great,
a fly rod this year.
Yeah,
I don't know how to fly fish, but I told her, I was like, we are traveling the whole United States. Yeah. I'm getting a fly rod, and I'm gonna try to just, you know. I'm probably I'm definitely gonna get in contact with a few guides on the road and really target the species and learn as much as I can from them. But I'm getting a fly rod. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
Like,
a year ago, I got lucky to have an opportunity. It just literally fell on my lap. Are you familiar with Fishing with Becca at all?
Yes. Huge fan.
Becca's my homegirl.
Huge fan.
Love her. She's great. I know. She's great. Want to also just mention her golden retriever Sky is out of remission now, which is terrible news. So she started a GoFundMe, and if you follow Instagram for Jigs and Bigs, go and put that together, because Sky is amazing. Sky loves Bobby roast beef, and we want to see Sky on more camping trips. So that's the goal.
I will be going right to that link as soon as we're done with this.
She's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
So
my heart goes out.
I had this opportunity where we were trying to make plans to just go truck camp, and we knew that there was this one weekend where the weather just looked like shit as it was getting out there. So it left a big question mark. What are we going to do for fishing? She's like, do you think maybe you should bring your kayak? Maybe you should bring your waders. And I'm like, I've got like hip waders that I only use in the winter, because like, you'll see when we fish together. Like, if the water's that cold, yeah, exactly. You know, I'm like, and like hip waders are a lot safer than some of the other options. But I said to her, I was like, yeah, you know, we'll just kind of wing it. She has a friend out by the Cape, and we ended up fly fishing. My first time ever fly fishing. And in fact, she was just on the bank walking around with Sky, like hanging out, giving Sky treats and everything.
Oh.
And I'm out there, and it was amazing. It is so much more of an active sport. I really thought it was very passive and, you know, more of a finesse sort of like application, but it's more like power fishing than anything. It really is. I think you'll love it. You should go for it. I also think, like, you throw bait casters, you should get into BFS. It's great. It's great, and it's already in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Already in your wheelhouse.
I'm gonna try. So the baitcaster is still new for me. Like last year was the first year that I really deep dived into the baitcaster, mostly because Soraya knows how to really dial it in.
That's awesome.
So I was like spinner baits and chatter baits. Were like the two things that I'm doing, and we're on the boat, so you can really rip that thing across. On the kayak, you're a little limited, but on the boat, you're just covering grass. But no, I'm gonna dial it in this year for sure.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
What's your like short list of confidence baits? Like when you need to get it done, what's that look like?
Right. Okay. So a Ned rig, a drop shot, chatterbait. In New Jersey, you can't really fish a crankbait, but on Champlain or on the rivers, crankbait and top water. So either a popper or a frog. Depends.
I love a popper. I love a popper. It's just such a great bait.
I just love people are always like, what's your favorite style of fishing? I don't like fishing weedless. I can't. I know Cincos are like the deal, but like I can't not feel what I'm doing. I can't fish that thing. I'm too fast to be slow and methodical. So it's like it's got to be something that's either on the bottom or at least touching, or making contact, or vibrating, so that I know that like I'm
Something's
doing, that I'm doing what I'm doing, or I can see it.
Yeah, you're looking for that instant feedback of like, okay, I'm doing this. It's good. Yeah, it's tough. Like sometimes like I'll throw like swim baits of any size, finesse swim baits, anything like that, and I'm kind of like, is this really where I think it is? Is it too light? Am I, raising up in the water column and just going over these fish? Or is it something where it's just too heavy and it's like, hitting the bottom like a ton of bricks and I'm dragging it along? It's crazy. Let's talk as far as like areas that you have fished, like you fish Champlain and where you are in the country. I would say outside of like a 2 or 3 hour ride, what are some of like the, and this goes anywhere else in the world, what are some specific bodies of water that you're like, bucket list, gotta happen?
All of them.
That's a good answer.
I know, right? All of them. I would say Okeechobee, but there's too much grass for me. Punching is just not something that I'm even comfortable with. The Devil's River is a float that I want to do so incredibly bad.
Yeah.
Like that's a big one. I told her, I was like, we need to like prepare ourselves for that.
Yeah.
I just trout fishing in Colorado, there's no specific body of water, but just like being on a nice, river. I don't see like names, like bodies of water with like naming them. Not really, but like Alaska, I want to do halibut from the kayak.
Sure.
I think Soraya thinks I'm crazy, but I'm like, I will do anything from the kayak. I want to catch a sturgeon, not necessarily from the kayak. That's a little too big for my wheelhouse.
That's a lot.
Yeah. But the Finger Lakes, obviously, you got to do it. I fished Lake George from the boat, caught a big smallmouth, kind of accidentally on a drop shot, like suspending. It's like I was pulling it through the school, and he just tanked it.
Sometimes that's how it is,
Yeah, Lake Erie. We're gonna spend a good chunk of time in Lake Erie.
All right.
So it's just all of them. Like I can't even. You just show me a body of water and I'll say, I'm going to fish that.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. I look at a lot of these spots that I want to go to, like, especially with the conversation of the boat. People ask you, like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I'm not looking for a bass boat traditionally. I'm looking for something that's got a little bit more of a deeper hull that I can go and fish some larger bodies of water. Like the Great Lakes, I would love to go troll for salmon. 100%. I would be into it, to at least try it. And that's why I think you and I kind of see eye to eye when it comes to fishing, because there's not a technique and granted, like there is a downfall to this, is the spending of the money. You know what I mean? Because like, let's be honest, you want to fly fish, that's one set of equipment. You want to ice fish, another set of equipment. You want to catch bass? Okay, great. That's a big, large, broad set of equipment there. But if you want to go and catch carp, you can technically catch carp on anything. You really can. But to do it the way that is the most effective and also better for the fish's well-being takes a whole separate set of equipment.
At least $300, like just
pretty
like
much.
The
you
basics.
got to go and drop a few $100 into anything that you're looking into. I mean, like I love to use the when I talk, and I mean, it's a lot to do all at once. That's why, like annually, I kind of like to put myself in a spot and try it. The one year it was big swim baits, and I've got certain large baits that I like to throw that I have more confidence than others. I still got to work on like fish and glide baits and the soft plastic swim baits, like the big ones. But I'm building that confidence little by little. Swim jigs are helping me get there. Upsizing that stuff, it's helping me get there. BFS is on the polar opposite end. That one out in the fly fishing. I picked up a tip up and a little jigging rod for ice fishing, the random times that we can do it. But yeah, I think that like you have to make a little bit of an investment there. And some folks, they just don't want to do that. And I totally respect that. That's fine. But that's where folks like us, this is where we're like, it's a dangerous time of year because it's expo season, Yep. Actually, I'm curious. In your area, is there a regular like sports or outdoors or fishing expo?
There's one in Wildwood that we were gonna go to, but it was like the day after we got back from Portugal, and we were just like, "There's no way that's happening." And there's another one in Philly, which is right over the bridge from my parents, that we used to go to all the time. So there's a couple. It's spread out. There's even some in high schools. Like there's some smaller ones in high schools where you have like the local people. Yeah. I used to go to them all the time when I was a kid, but I will spend too much money. Just spend too much money on everything.
It really is.
And you're just so overwhelmed. It's so much stuff. And you're just like, I want it all. I want it all.
I know. It's insane.
My poor wife.
It's like we got really close with Chris Mellowship and his wife, Christina. They own A Bay Lure they're located Alexandria Bay in off the St. Lawrence River. And like amazing couple, amazing custom painted hard baits. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We met at the Springfield Sportsman Show, which was a year ago, February. And I mean, everybody, myself, Sean, Joe was his first outing with Jigs and Bigs.
Oh boy.
I mean, I don't know how much we drew, but we each left with like an armful of baits. And it was just because it would be like day one, and this is why we don't do expos. Like we do the Springfield Sportsman Show because it's in our backyard. I'm doing a walkthrough at every other one, and I'm leaving my wallet in the truck because I've already spent so much money on BFS this year. I really have. Yeah. Like my wife's like, that's really nice. You got that, that your folks got you that reel. I'm like, yeah, but we didn't buy the rod or the baits. I'm like, I'm throwing a bunch of shit in here. I'm like, she doesn't know the expense already. But that's all good. I'm a hardworking guy.
That reel is part one of like a 5-part series.
Yeah,
of
you
all
got
the
to
stuff
get there.
that I need.
Luckily,
when we went to the expos, I was too young. I didn't have a credit card. I just had like some birthday money. So I only had a limited amount.
Yeah.
If I went to those expos today, we would be in trouble.
Game on.
Soraya, like I would just have an empty backpack.
Yep.
And she would just be like, she wouldn't be able to find me. First of all, I'm small and I know how to get away from her.
Yeah,
so I could,
exactly.
Run to a booth, get all the stuff that I need, and just find her. Be like, oh, where were you? I was in the bathroom. I got you a pretzel. Here's a pretzel.
There you go. That's what it's all about. It's all about like, oh, hey, I got you. See, this is why, and it's funny. I've always said this before. If you're going to go out and make some kind of a purchase, and I've given this advice out to other folks. If you're going to go and make a purchase on some fishing gear or something huge, like you got to buy that buffer gift for your significant other, your spouse. You do. You got to have that on hand, and it's got to be kind of relative. So be careful if you're going to go and drop, thousands upon thousands of dollars on a boat. Be ready with a vacation. You know what I mean? Like be ready with something, to kind of dodge that bullet a little bit.
I mean, we made an agreement that we're getting 2 boats whenever we have the money and capability, because she grew up more saltwater fishing from a boat. So I was like, the saltwater rig, you're the captain of that ship. That's fine. And then when we get the freshwater boat, we can share it, but it's going to mostly be mine.
It's going to be exactly.
But I would never make that big of a purchase without her. Unless, a kayak maybe, but not a boat.
So what would you name those 2 vessels? Would there be like play on words for the 2 together, or?
Her last name, her maiden name is Moda. So her boat would be the Moda boat.
The Moda boat.
Moda,
dude, I love that. Yes.
I don't know what my boat's name would be yet, but hers would definitely be the Moda boat.
I like that. That's freaking awesome. Man,
love it.
This is why I love this shit. You get 2 complete strangers make content on the internet, their paths cross, and then boom. So let's actually, while we're talking content, let's dive into your content, because you have a handful of things going on. You've got not just a YouTube channel, but a couple of different YouTube channels that you're working, and you're sort of putting like the activities or the type of content into different compartments, which I think is actually a really, really smart idea. I really do. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
Walk me through that, because you also have your podcast that when you got back from your trip from Portugal, you dropped a brand new episode there too.
Yeah.
Talk to me about all this stuff. Like, where's the vision? What are you thinking?
Okay, so a little bit of background. My grandfather, after he did the war, he did photography, and he did weddings mostly. But then he snuck into Shea Stadium when the Beatles were playing, and he's got this one picture of one of the Beatles. I don't remember, John Lennon, whoever it is, looking right at him, like mouth open, playing the guitar. And he would always that was his claim to fame. Wow. And he loved that. He was very proud of that. But he always had a camera. He was always filming, he was always the guy filming family events and stuff. Yep. And I always admired that. And I love watching home videos, the nostalgia that comes from that, and seeing everybody. I love that. So I always kind of wanted to be the person to document what was going on in my life so that my kids or I could look back at that. So I started Enthusiast Adventurer, which is basically everything to do with the outdoors. Yep. So the bushcraft, the survival, the camping, the hiking, anything DIYs that have to do with the outdoors. That's what that channel is for. And then I have Jerry's World, and Jerry was a nickname that I had in high school. I got that, you could call it, after a breakup period. I was singing this song called The Pretty Girl Rock, and the artist name was Carrie Hilson. So my softball team started calling me Carrie, and they were like, that's not going to work. So then they called me Jerry. So that just stuck, and I started that out of high school. And that's basically all family stuff and stuff that I'm doing with my loved ones. It's more of a vlog style. It's not as much of the outdoors. And I always felt like keeping that separate just makes sense. It doesn't make sense to combine them. I want them to both be their own thing. I like making the content that I'm making for both of them, but separately. Yeah, exactly. Not together. And then the Adventures audio podcast is basically a branch off of the Enthusiast Adventurer channel. Yep. It's going to be a series on my channel, and then it's going to be its own podcast. Again, everything to do with the outdoors, from off-roading, fire making, fishing, all of that stuff that we love, and just people that are passionate about getting out there and doing what they love to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, good for you. That's awesome. And it's so funny. It's such a challenge, because a lot of folks will talk about, splitting up their different types of content. Like, I'll use mine, for example. Like, I've got my own account, Bobby Roast Beef, which is more of the events, game show, my business, my primary business there. And then Jigs and Bigs is where I kind of put all the fishing content. Like, it just sort of works that way. And I always knew I wanted to do a podcast, and it just so happened that Jigs and Bigs was the one that eventually finally took off. There was a short while I did a trivia one too, and it was all right. But, I found my listeners were primarily folks that were looking to listen to get bonus points. So I'm like, there was no real audience there. I'm like, I don't know. And it's odd though, because worlds do collide. And I think that what's critical is that you need to be to get the most out of everything, because you're going to have folks that are going to want your vlog style content. They're going to want to see that stuff. And then you're going to have folks that are into the outdoor stuff, but you are going to have a slice that's into both.
I know.
And so just making sure that you promote one and the other, and then, maybe do little collaborations, because I'll give you a couple of examples. This I never expected, but I think in the last, I'll say since 2021, realistically, since 2021, I think I've done 8 weddings for listeners of the show.
Wow.
Which is insane.
That's awesome.
Which is
that
crazy.
Is insane.
I never ever thought that folks that listen to this show would, obviously we're people, so we have life happenings. There's, anniversaries and weddings and all kinds of stuff. So, but I never really thought that my business, my entertainment company would see any type of overflow from the other stuff. I always kind of had this thought I could utilize my game show stuff to collaborate with other creators with a larger platform, because my trivia stuff is insane. It is ridiculous. Yeah. In fact, you know what? I do a trade show quite often in Atlantic City. Pretty routinely.
Ayo.
So next time I do this, I'm going to drag my kayak and we'll fish again for sure.
Oh my gosh, please. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
My new kayak is going to be here either Friday, the weekend, or Monday. I'm freaking out. I haven't been tracking it because you have to get 5 different apps because it's bought from the company. Not complaining. But I'm just like, oh my God, it's come. And I shipped it to my parents' house. I was like, we're getting a package. Don't worry. I'll be down when it's.
So I know you told me what it was. What did you decide to get?
I got the Van Hunks Shad. It's like a 10'4" kayak. It has the ability to have both the fin drive or the pedal drive. It's got the motor mount, like pre-molded screws, so that I can have the motor on it. And it just seemed to check off all of my ticks, my needs. And it was also in the price range that I needed it. You know, it's not $5,000, $3,000. It was about, $1,500. A little bit less than that because I didn't get the pedal drive yet. Of course, the one I want is not in stock, so gotta wait for that. But I'm super excited about it. Like
That's awesome.
I'm frothing. I'm, as they say in Australia. I'm just like I'm buzzing. I'm so excited. And then we're gonna test that out a lot and see if Soraya likes that one, if she's gonna stick with that one, or if she's gonna go with a different one because we're both upgrading.
Oh yeah,
it's like we're not going to travel the world and not upgrade our kayaks.
Yeah, exactly.
Not happening.
It's funny too because like I hear this a lot from a lot of folks, and they'll say like, "Oh, I'm getting my first kayak," and they'll buy a paddle kayak, which is awesome. Hey, go for it. Paddle kayaks are great. People will ask me, they'll be like, "What should I get? What should I get?" And I understand, like, for budget reasons, like some folks are just like, yeah, it makes more sense for me to get into a paddle kayak and do something. I love the decision you made with this because the hull is ready to go for that pedal drive when you're ready, but it's kind of like a modular purchase. You can grow that. I think that is huge because what I always tell folks is like, think about it like this. If you're going to buy this kayak and you're going to take it out a handful of times just to leisurely paddle, like just to be on the water, you're not going to bring a rod. You're not going to fish at all. You're going to consciously make that decision. Definitely a paddle kayak is what you want for sure.
Yep.
But if you genuinely like to fish, you will have a much better experience if you have a set of pedals in front of you. Because you'll have both arms to be able to do the things that you need to do to fish, and you'll have just a better experience. While, like I think motors on kayaks are great. It's not for everybody, Right. I have toyed around the idea with putting a motor on mine, not so much for the need to go spot to spot, like, and break a piece of water down. It's more like if I go 7 or 8 hours on the water and I'm that far away from the ramp, I'd really like to flick that sucker on just to get back, Yep. Make life a little bit easier.
I've been putting all this energy out and paddling and fishing and, and like, let me just motor back, eat something, drink something and breathe for a minute. Call the wife, tell her how it was.
Exactly.
And relax.
And that's the thing. I always try to tell folks. So I think I applaud your choice there. That's awesome. Have you ever sat in one of these kayaks before? Did you try it like that?
No. The plan was we were going to go to Florida because Florida was the only place that we could find is where the main dealer is, where you could try them out.
Oh, okay.
And then Soraya found a place in Maryland, so we drove an hour and 45 minutes down there.
Yep.
And they weren't open. It said online that it was open.
Yep.
Everything was like, whatever, green lights go. You could rent the kayak out. It was right on the water. You could test it.
Yeah.
Nobody was at the shop. It was a weekday. It was a regular weekday, regular work hours. Yeah, nobody was there. It was like 2:00 in the afternoon we got down there. And I was just like, I'm buying it. I was like, I don't care. And
you tried. Yeah.
Yeah, we tried. And I was like, baby, she was all upset. I was like, baby, I am so proud of you for like looking, doing the research, figuring it out. I love you so much. It wasn't in the cards. There's nobody in this warehouse. I don't understand why. You can see all the kayaks. You can see all the stuff. And it's just like, wasn't meant to be. So I took her we went to Olive Garden. We had a great lunch. We had a little date and we made it better than what it was. So
as an Italian American, you went to Olive Garden.
She loves Olive Garden.
You made
I just wanted salad at that point. We had just got back from Portugal. I was eating meat for every single meal and potatoes. So I was like, I want salad.
With most Portuguese meals, you get 2 starches. You get like a rice and a potato. It's like, it is not a good thing if you're keto in Portugal.
No. Oh my God. Yep. It's like potatoes.
It's my kind of place. I love it.
And they're delicious.
Did you have any Vino Verde while you were out there?
No.
That's the green wine?
Green wine?
Yeah.
Green wine. So I am allergic to alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yes. And there's only one type of wine that I found this last year. It's like 3% alcohol. It's an Italian wine that I can drink and like be okay. If I drink anything else, beer, doesn't matter. I get really tense. I get really red and I get shaky and my body crashes. Mm-hmm. So I'm the designated driver for the most part.
That's not a bad thing. That's always good.
Soraya enjoys the wine and she enjoys everything. I try it. Like I tried it. I sipped it. I don't think we found anywhere that we didn't go anywhere that had the green wine like ready, or it wasn't like the time of day that we were like, let's have wine, like because we're like hiking and exploring.
Yeah,
but she says it's her favorite. I'm like, oh, I'll try it when you have it, but I can't really indulge too much.
There you go. No, that's understandable. You know, that's the thing. Alcohol is not for everybody. Like people are amazed when they find out how little I actually drink, especially if they knew me in my early 20s. It was a whole other animal. But nowadays, even working in the bar business, if I might have 3 beers a week, maybe. And that's like it. If I go out with my wife and we're doing dinner, then it's like super bougie craft cocktails and all kinds of stuff like that. No, I think, but as far as your kayak goes, I think that's the move. That is awesome. And like, yeah, you did.
Thank you.
You tried it. You know, you tried to go and do this. You had to make the call. Yeah, go for it. I have a feeling you're going to love it. I have a feeling you're going to be like,
I do research. I'm like the type of person who sits down and watches the videos, watches the good reviews, watches the bad reviews. I make her mostly read all the reviews out to me while I'm doing other stuff. But like I'm invested because I had bought a new canoe Frontier 10, which is a 10-foot molded canoe technically. Yeah. It's very wide, very stable. But I was like, I want a boat that I can finally stand in. And at some point you can put a pedal system on there. It was just $1,200 to do that. Yeah. And I was like, I'll get there. Never got there. You could throw a motor on it, which was great. And it did a lot of the things that I needed it to do, but it was also just too much for like those simple trips. I want to be able to just go out quickly, grab a few rods and like go and have a simple like trip. And then I also want to rig it up to the top, have the motor, have the pedal drive and do a big trip. So I needed something that was going to do everything. And I needed something that fit a budget. So I did my research as best as possible, watched the reviews and landed on that one. And so far, I don't have it yet, but so far from what I've heard and seen, I feel like I also made a good choice, but I will definitely let you know.
That's awesome. I'm stoked. I'm stoked. I was really looking forward to fishing with you this early February. You guys have open water still down there?
We have, but our water doesn't freeze.
You guys don't get hard water at all, huh?
No.
Damn.
The only hard water we got was 2 winters ago, and I fell through it. And when I say I fell through the ice, it was about this thick. I was chasing a ball.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I saw a ball across the water. I was like, I'm going to go get it. She was like, please don't. And I could see the ice just wobbling, like as I'm stepping.
Oh,
and I put my foot.
I
put my foot in, and I fall through, and I don't even make it to like my waist because it was that shallow. And I'm just standing there, like, damn it. And then she grabs me because she's a firefighter, grabs my shoulders and pulls me back, and I'm flailing, like trying to help, and I just stop, and I go limp, and I'm just sitting there, like, and she's just dragging me across the.
It's fucking great.
And I wish that I had a camera. Of course I didn't that day because it was like, oh, let's just go real quick. Like, baby, I want to go. I have the itch. Let's go.
Yeah.
Idiot. Well, no, not an idiot. Like, I'm an adventure seeker.
Yeah,
and I told
these
her
things are going to happen.
When we started dating, I said, every single day is an adventure with me. Don't ever think there's just going to be a chill day.
I love that.
I have lived up to that name.
So I want to do something with you that I haven't done with anybody else, and it's just strictly that you're from Jersey. So we're gonna have some fun. Rapid fire questions.
I love rapid fire questions. Let's go. If you pull out hoagie or sub, I swear to God.
Oh no, we're not gonna go there. I'm gonna start with the one that gets me closest. It hits me right in the cockles of the heart.
Oh boy.
Pork roll or Taylor ham?
Pork roll.
Pork roll. Okay. Yeah. So pork roll is the southern Jersey and Taylor ham's the northern?
So. I guess it's a southern Jersey. Gotcha. I'm speaking from South Jersey.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're on. Okay. We got pork roll. Kevin Smith, yay or nay?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my God. I'm the oldest person alive.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What is that?
Okay. So Kevin Smith is he's a movie writer, director. He's from New Jersey. Leonardo, New Jersey, I believe. His first movie was called Clerks.
Now I gotta watch it.
He released Mallrats, Chasing Amy, a whole bunch of other stuff, created like what's called the View Askew universe. These are really geeky freaking movies.
I'm gonna write it. I'm writing it down. Kevin
Smith. Yeah.
Movies. Okay, I'll get back to you on that next week when I've watched a few.
Yeah, it's I love him, but he's like the New Jersey like movie guy.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And man, there's so many like regionalisms that are tied into his stuff. It's fantastic.
Probably. And now when I watch it, I'll be like, yep, and exactly what he's talking
Oh,
about.
yeah. And then Springsteen or Bon Jovi? Southern Jersey. I got a feeling I know where this is going.
Bon Jovi?
Really?
I like them both.
Fair enough. I mean, both
like 'em
icons, both old as shit, you know?
Yeah, right.
You know, exactly. Let's be honest here. But I figured you for a Springsteen gal.
I just grew up. My dad played all kinds of music, so it was never one or the other.
Huh.
So yeah. So I know, right? I'm sorry. I like to surprise you.
That's interesting.
I
I
like
like
labels.
surprises. Yeah, see, this is why we get along. I like that. Let's talk about, like, let's say Sean the Fisherman, Who the Fuck is Joe Brown, myself. We're in the Jigs and Bigs van, and we're just, like, headed down 95, and we're coming to pick you up. We're going to take you out for a day of fishing at an unnamed body of water with conditions that we have no idea about, but it's something in your region. You can't bring any rods or reels. You can bring your tackle box and take anything you want for lures, for terminal tackle, anything like that. But we're going to stop by the local tackle shop, your favorite one, whatever it might be. I'm going to hand you the Jigs and Bigs corporate card, and you can build one combo: the rod, the reel, and what are you throwing on for line? Go ahead and build it.
Okay. It's usually a 7-foot, medium heavy, fast taper spinning rod. I like a 20 size series reel, so I don't like I don't like it too big. I like something that's a little bit lighter. I'm gonna go with 10-pound fluoro, just because we have a lot of grass.
Gotcha.
Typically I'm at 8, but like sometimes when I'm fishing down here, it's
we have a lot
10.
of grass here too, so I feel that.
Yeah, no, I think a 7 foot medium heavy covers so many different things that's why I'm going with that setup. And I'm just more comfortable with a spinning rod. You can throw anything on it, from the lightest little jig head to, a heavy kind of swim bait situation.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going with.
Is there any brand
I don't
or
have
reel
it.
that
I was
you
just
would
going to
stick
say,
to?
I don't have a specific brand. I like Luz. Their grips on their rods are really comfortable. I grew up with like Abu Garcia, and like I don't even hear anybody talk about Quantum anymore, but I had a lot of Quantum rods back in the day.
My first bait caster was a Quantum.
Yeah, Daiwa. Like I like colors to coordinate with what I'm going for. So like my black and red rod is like my heavy spinning rod for like top water.
Yep.
And then like my Luz rod that my dad got me, ironically, is also red, but that's for crankbaits. It's got a really soft tip. And then I have like an all black rod, which is for jerk baits, and then I have a green rod for like frogging. So like I like to keep.
You've got a system. Like when you're.
It's the ADHD and the OCD.
Yeah.
It's just like I love it. I don't discriminate. Even my tackle trays, once I upgrade them, they're all going to be kind of like color coded to what I need. Like, okay, I need the red box that's got all of like my crankbaits and my hard baits. Like
that's a great way to go about it.
I need to be as efficient as possible because I get so distracted
For sure.
sometimes. But also it's myself preparing to be ready for all the situations. And at a glance, I can be like, okay, grab that rod. That's the one that, it's like Soraya. All of her setups are black and orange. Orange is her favorite color. So of course the first rod I got her was orange. She loves them. But like for me, I'm like, okay, this is for this. This is for that.
Yep.
Okay, I need a new, like my saltwater stuff. I want to be like white for some reason. Just associate white with saltwater fishing. So I'm like, okay, I got a couple ducket rods in the fishing cart and things that I'm looking at. Like, so I just like to make sure that they're all tailored to what I need, and at a glance I can grab this like, oh, that's my jigging rod, or oh, that's my drop shot rod, and that's my cranking rod, and then hit the water.
That's not a bad idea at all. It really isn't. Like, because it's one thing to say like, and I love this. Like, I'll go out and I'll buy like tackle boxes, right? 3,700 size, 3,600 size tackle boxes, and I'll buy them by like a half dozen or a dozen at a time. Yep. And sometimes I'm replacing the broken ones, and I'm just like, nope, let's get a backlog of them. We'll set it all up, and it's great to have like, hey, this box is for jerk baits. This box is for rattle traps. This box is for square bills. But when they're all the same box, you have to rely on labels. Or, in my sense, you don't use a label, and you have to open every one and go like, okay, those are jerk baits. Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, those are jerk baits. This here is chatter baits.
And you gotta, that's how it works.
Yep.
I like the color coded idea. I think that's awesome. You just gave me an amazing marketing idea. Like, some of these waterproof boxes, if you could just do gaskets that were different colors and interchangeable. So you could say like, yeah, yellow is jerkbaits. Boom. Just look at the front of it. You know, it's boom. There you go. It sticks out.
I have a list. I have a list already set in place.
I'm going to have to edit this out because somebody's going to steal this idea. You and I, this might be a business thing, and then we can fund your bus life. It'll be great. I'll get my boat. You'll get the bus. It'll be perfect.
I'm telling you right now, if I could talk about my business plan for the future, I can't talk to you about it on air because I don't want anyone to steal the idea. But my wife, myself, and a friend of ours, like we have a plan to start two companies that we're super excited about. And we know that we can make it happen. We just don't have the money. Like we just don't have the money, but I know that the world needs it. God, I should have saved 2 slots for this interview. One that we could have on air and then one that we could have off air.
Well, after we're done recording, I'm going to need to know what this is because it just sounds juicy, and I'm here for it.
It's incredible.
I think so. I have, you're no stranger to Jigs and Bigs. You know this is all about those fishing stories. All about it. I got a feeling you've been sitting kind of planning what yours are going to be, but I'm looking for 2 stories from you. Actually, you know what? We'll get to that question in a bit. I want to know this. New Jersey, another New Jersey thing, famous for diners. Like, absolutely, right?
We are.
New Jersey diners are some of the greatest in the world.
Watch, be careful. They are. They're everywhere.
So, on Jigs and Bigs, we talk about food a lot, especially this time of year, because, like, we're planning trips in different parts of the country and putting things together, and, like, we're looking for some recommendations for sure. So, the one thing that I love is, like, after I'm done fishing, like maybe I went out super early morning in middle of the summer. It's like, maybe it's breakfast or lunch or whatever it might be. But after I'm done fishing, I like to either celebrate a really good day with a really good meal, or maybe just go and bury my sad emotions into a great meal, or punish myself with something horrible. I think that food is great to kind of like extend that community a little bit. What's the local spot? None of this Olive Garden stuff, Janelle. None of this Olive Garden stuff.
I've got 3. 2 of them are pubs, and one of them's a diner. Okay, so
Beautiful.
7 Stars Diner, and that is a place that after every softball game, my team would always go.
Oh yeah,
they have a great bar, great setup for that, and they just have great food. All of everything, you can't go wrong with it. Whether it's
go-to
appetizers. Oh, see, like I'm a chicken tenders girl. After a game, I don't need the greasy food.
Yeah,
I'm a chicken tenders. Like, give me the chicken tenders, or like a chicken Caesar salad, but that's more just chill. Like, you can't go wrong. If you make a good chicken Caesar salad, I'm your best friend,
dude.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Or breakfast.
Breakfast all day.
And then you've got Nipper's Pub. It was our sponsor for a while. They have really great deals, and they have these loaded French fries with bacon, 3 different cheeses, a little bit of ranch.
Preach.
And it's the best thing after a game. If you're watching football, whatever, they also have big deals on like crabs or whatever you want. Yeah. Incredible. And then Mulligan's Pub is one of my favorites. They always have a deal on crab legs. So whenever me and my wife are craving crab legs, we go there and get them for like $30 for like, a bunch of king crabs.
That's awesome.
We just go in on crabs. And then the one night we were there, they had trivia night, and her eyes lit up, and I was like, baby, we have plans. Like, we gotta go. But she was like, please. I was like, well, I know a guy, so I'll bring you. But those 3 places, incredible. Their wings also at Mulligan's are incredible. They just expanded their property.
That's awesome.
Those are 3 top places.
That's awesome.
I hope I didn't disappoint there.
No. That's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. I mean, there are spots.
Sweet.
I've got some spots in mind that I want to fish this year in New Hampshire. In fact, my I like to call my passenger princess for the trip out to the Columbus, Ohio Fishing Expo. Adam Blomeke is going to be joining me, and he's given me a couple of places that I need to hit in New Hampshire. And I'm hoping, actually, he just got his first kayak, so I'm thinking he and I are going to make plans to do some fishing this year, and we will definitely be visiting these spots. I'm actually going to have to go and listen to that episode where he was on to get a couple of those recommendations off the top of my head.
I'll give you one right now. If you're in Newark, if you want good Portuguese food, good steak, Newark. This is the place that they were our food caterer for the wedding. Their name is Sol Mar. So SOL and then MRA. Do you know it?
We have a Solmar up here. That's common.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little side note, like the where I live in Western Massachusetts, there's the Chicopee and Ludlow, Massachusetts are heavy with Portuguese culture. Heavy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's not weird for me to go to a bar and order a shot of espresso with like a shot of brandy and just sit there and do my thing. Like I used to, my God. So like
the giant skirt steak with eggs and of course, French fries.
Beef a casa all day long, right?
Clams.
Even better, honestly, even better is what the hell's the name of that sandwich? I can't think of the name of it. It starts with a B. Bifana.
Bifano.
Out of this world.
Like you can sit here and talk food all you want.
Oh my God, it's no wonder I am the size I am. It's no wonder at all.
Enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I fully intend to. All right. So let's get to these fishing stories here. I'm looking for primarily two of them. What I want to know is that story that like if you're at an event and fishing comes up in conversation, what's that story you're going to lead with you're like, I got a good one for you. It might be the thing that you're most proud of. It might be a PB story. It might be something where like everything went to hell, but for some reason like it all came together. Like it's one that you're just like, yeah, this is the trademark. This one gets that like bookmark status. And then I want to know on the flip side of that, the biggest epic fail.
I have a few of those.
Everybody does.
Every time you ask this question, the same kayak experience comes up. And this was with the first kayak I ever had was an Emotions Spitfire 9. So it's like a 9'8" little sit on top. I begged my parents for it. They got it for me for Christmas. It's a small little sit on top.
Yep.
I get to the lake and there's two guys. One guy's fishing like out of a Hobie and another guy's fishing out of like something else. Expensive. These big expensive rigs. I pull up with my milk crate, my kayak, and like 3 rods. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be a good day on the water. It's a good sized lake. Love this lake. It has my personal best largemouth to date from the kayak. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to try to throw the jig with the bait caster. I'm going to see how it goes. I'm not good with it, but we'll try.
Yeah.
Get on the water, park the car, have to walk it all the way back, come back, launch the boat. It's probably 5 minutes worth of casts with the jig. And I'm like, I'm not touching anything. I go to the drop shot because the drop shot is just where my heart is. And nobody, from what I know in South Jersey, really throws a drop shot because of the lakes that we have. But this lake is set up. It's got a good deep bank. Nice sandy bottom. First cast under a tree, and I hook a largemouth. I'm like, okay, get it in the boat. It's like a nice 2-pounder. And for South Jersey, we don't get monsters. We get monsters, but it's rare to have them.
Yeah.
I land this fish, and I'm like, okay, was that a fluke? Like, what was that? It was great. Take my picture, let this fish go, battle around. Next cast, hook another fish. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
That's
another
awesome.
like solid 2-pounder.
Yeah.
I fish this whole entire bank, and practically every other cast, I'm catching fish. Like I'm catching fish on the drop shot. There's times that I'm just sitting and I'll chuck my lure 3 feet next to me, next to a log, two little ticks into it, and I've got a largemouth on, and I'm like, what is going? Like everything just
dialed,
clicked.
yeah.
Everything was dialed in, and I was like, this was at a time when like kayak fishing for me was something that I did, but I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have all my techniques down. Like I was just kind of getting into it and like wondering, oh, do I keep doing this? Do I not?
Yeah.
And my GoPro batteries die, of course, towards the end of the day. I take one final cast towards this huge tree that has like an overhanging
that's the best
system.
Fishy spot.
And you know when you set the hook and you know that it's big, so you like do a double or triple like jerk with your rod
to make sure that hook is buried in there. I've been there before, yeah.
And this fish is swimming right at me, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And I see it, and I was like freaking out, and like I know the guys like in their kayaks are like, what's going on? Because at this point, I'm not being quiet. I'm like,
no, you're like
I'm an audible person.
Yeah.
I grab my net. I'm like messing around. I land this fish. I think it was like 4.2 or like 4.5 or something like that. Like largemouth. I'm holding this fish and I just go like the whole lake heard me. I was just like, this is incredible. Like everything just clicked. Everything was working. It was like I couldn't do anything wrong. And it was just the ultimate confidence boost. And it was just like the best day on the water that I've ever had. I was by myself. Was listening to good music, was vibing like to my own, like it was just good. And then to end on that fish was holding it up all proud, and it was just amazing. And then of course putting all my gear in the car, this guy comes up in his Hobie. He was like, how'd you do? I heard a little bit of hooting. And I was like, yeah, no, I killed him today. I was like, how many did you catch? He was like, none. And I was like,
Doesn't that feel amazing? It does.
Yeah, and he was very nice.
Of course.
But I was just like,
you just had a great day.
I just had a great day.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Like that's exactly what it gets down to, man. It's like, and you need those days. Like you said, you're early on to kayak fishing and you're sort of like learning a bunch of new stuff. You need those good days to outweigh the days where you're grinding and you're just like, man, I don't really know. I think I would rather just be fishing on the bank. That's for me. That's how it was for the majority of the first couple of years, really, until I got my own kayak and was like, no, I'm starting to kind of understand this. But like, that's huge. That's awesome. Now you said that this is the same body of water you got your PB out of. Did you get your PB before that or after that?
A year after that.
A year after that. Okay. All right.
It was my cousin and I were at this lake fishing around on the kayaks, and he sees this bass. It was like it wasn't on a bed yet, but it was she was in her spot.
Yep.
For some reason she liked this one twig that was laying on the bottom. And I'm like, oh, it's like a 3-pounder, whatever. He's trying to catch it. He kind of gives up on it. And I'm like, let me try. So I post up next to this log. The wind's got me pushing into it. So like I'm covered and I'm not moving.
Yep.
And I have a drop shot rig, but I put a wacky worm on there because I'm like, the action. I've seen people do it. The action, but like I want it to sit in front of her face. So I'm going to set my leader to the right size. I pitch it in front of her. I close my bail. I look at him and I feel the tick of my line and immediately just set the
rip
hook.
It, yeah.
And this thing is pulling me around. And there's another guy on the kayak coming over, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, she's bigger than I thought. I'm like, Tommy, I'm so sorry, because he told me I could get it, but I was just like, I'm so sorry that I caught the fish. And it's huge. Oh my God, it's peel and drag. I net it. It was 5 pounds 2 ounces, and I'm holding this big girl up. And this guy comes over with a GoPro. He says, "Mind if I film you?" I'm like, I'm like so excited. And I was just like, he was like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I did it. I just thought I wanted it in front of her face, and I wanted that little
You
that
wanted
worm
it to dangle
action.
and
Yeah. It's just a combination of sometimes random techniques or random things that work. And I think what happened was the wind blew, because I didn't move the bait. I think the wind just blew it, like moved it enough that it twitched in front of her. And I think she
was like, out.
I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even looking at her. I was looking at him.
Yep.
And I felt the line tick, and I was just immediate, like instincts. Your instincts just kick in.
There is something so special about joining the 5-pound club. Like when you get to that point where you've caught a 5-pounder or larger, like there is just something where, like, when you were holding that fish, did you feel like a different kind of connection to the?
Yes.
It's so bizarre, man. When I was holding my PB, I was like, this is like, it's like holding my daughter as a newborn. You know what I mean? I'm like, holy Jesus.
I'm just, you're holding them and you're looking at them, and you're just, the whole day runs through your mind, your whole kind of fishing career, like all of the moments.
Yeah.
And you're just like looking at this beautiful fish, and you're just like these are the moments that you live for and you dream of, and then you get it. And you just want to savor it, but you also want to put it back so the fish is okay. But I'm just like looking at her like she's gorgeous. Like, look at this fish.
Yeah.
Like,
oh God,
yeah,
it's amazing.
the 5 and up club is a good one to be in.
Yeah, when you get there, that is awesome. That's huge. Yeah. So then, at that time, for your story, that was that 4-pounder was probably your PB at that time.
Oh,
that's
and for Jersey in general.
Yeah, that's a big fish. Like the Northeast, a lot of people hate on fish up north. Like we have, like the state record in Massachusetts is 15 pounds. There's a very, very unique situation. Like it's on the eastern part of the state where we have a lot of herring runs and things. So the forage is different. They don't really freeze over the way that we do. But like, you get into different parts of the area, like there can be big fish in any body of water. Are there less of them? Absolutely there are. Makes them harder to find. That's why when you do get into a 5+, it's special. I'm looking forward to someday I'll be lucky and I'll get into double digits, and I'm willing to travel for it. If it means I got to do it in Mexico, I'm going to do it.
Mexico. We have to go to Mexico. We got to throw those giant, like 2-ounce spinner baits that the Guggen squad throws at that one lake. Spotted bass. I want to throw a Huddleston, like 8-inch trout and like lock into a big spot.
When we fish, I'll hook you up with my swim bait combo, and you can just go ham. I have got some swim baits that you can fuck around with that all you want.
I'm getting Bass Pro Shops has a rod. It's like 7.6.
Yep.
It's like $50, and I'm picking that up this year.
Yeah.
And then I got a bigger, like, I don't remember the name of the brand, but nice bait caster so that I can throw some bigger baits. Because I got to dabble. I got to do something.
That's exactly it.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year I got to do something
Just
new.
shake
Like,
it up.
for the last couple of years, it was chatterbaits. And then the Ned jig I'm obsessed with.
Uh-huh.
And then now I want to throw big swim baits.
Jigs in general, they catch fish. They're just, I think, the most versatile piece of tackle an angler can have is a jig. And whether that's a skirted bass jig, whether it's an open hook Ned rig, an EWG Ned rig, a finesse jig, whatever that jig might be, jigs in general, they just catch fish. It is just amazing. So now I got to know that other story, the epic fail, all of it.
Okay. So I love my dad, but when we go out on the boat, sometimes we're either on the right wavelength or we're on opposite wavelengths.
Yep.
And this was, we went to a public lake of ours and we're fishing around and we're crossing each other all day long. I don't know. It was probably me. It's probably like the brain. And the funny thing is we have a joke between me, him, and my wife. We call us Team Branch because if one of us isn't stuck in a tree, the next person stuck. So like we'll get snagged in an overhang and next thing you know, we get that out. He's like, all right, resets the boat. And then the next person gets hooked in the tree. So I'm getting snagged on everything. He's losing his patience. And I knock over his favorite mug like into the water.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and I go in for it. I get it. I'm like, okay, I got it. Put it back. Didn't touch it for the rest of the day.
Sure. Yeah.
So then I'm a crier. Sometimes I cry. So he hooks this little like 2.5 foot pike and he's fighting this fish and he lays all of his rods on the front of the boat.
Oh no.
I know. And he's had this one combo forever. He calls it his custom combo. He got it in this little, nothing shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I grab the net, and of course, the little knob part gets stuck in the bottom of the net, and it falls in the water. And I fall like chest first on the edge of the boat, trying to grab it. I knock the wind out of myself, and I see his rod just sink into the abyss. Now, this pike has got him wrapped around the trolling motor because it's a little piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm crying immediately because to me, this rod is it has the most sentimental value. Yes. And I just knocked it in the water and I feel like I just failed my father and I'm freaking out. And he's like, are you hurt? I'm like, no, I'm not hurt. I just can't breathe. Your rod. He's like, I don't care about my rod. I was like, I care about your rod. He lands this stupid fish, throws it back in the water. And I finally I'm breathing regularly. And I'm like, Dad, I am so sorry. He's like, it's fine, whatever. I'm like, it's not fine. So I'm preparing to go into the water.
Yeah.
It's cold. I'm like preparing to like strip down to nothing and get in there and find this rod.
How deep was it?
It was like 6 feet, I think.
Okay,
probably.
all right.
So I'm 5 foot. So it was doable, but it wasn't recommended. So we circle the boat back. He grabs the anchor and he starts dredging for this rod. And I'm like losing hope that we're going to find it. And he's like, one more. And I'm laying with my hands out, like watching this line come in. And on the last pull up, I see the rod tip and I just grab it.
Yep.
And I put it in the boat and I said, it's retired. You're never, ever bringing this rod in the water ever again. I was like, I am not going through what I just went through for this stupid fucking rod. I will buy you 4 more rods.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's fucking
breaks
awesome,
my heart.
Janelle.
I was so upset.
Understandably.
I told him the last 2 years I've been telling him, Dad, that rod is too old. The reel doesn't really work. It needs to go up on the wall in the garage.
Yeah,
admire
it's more of a save it,
on.
archive it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
We're going to pass that down from generation. No one can use it. We're just going to look at it. That's what status it has reached.
Just going to look at it.
And it went in the water, and I immediately started bawling. Like, I'm bawling. And I got a bruised chest, ribs. I was so upset.
Oh my god!
But we got it back. But I yell at him, and then he tried to bring it on the Vermont trip. I said, "Put it the fuck away." I said, "You're not bringing it. I'm gonna hide it. I'm gonna hide it from him."
This is. I will say this much. Like, and you nailed it. You're like, I'm gonna buy you 4 other rods. You just leave that one alone. So Father's Day, this must have been like Father's Day, like 2021, something like that. I had bought it was a Cash and Icon 7-foot medium, like standard issue finesse combo. I think I put like a 13 fishing reel on here or something like that. It's a nice setup. This is the first piece of fishing gear that my dad had ever owned that was of like an upper like level of quality. Like it was decent.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind, so he's gone out a handful of times with this and like trout fished and stuff. He's like, it is awesome. I also bought him some tungsten EWG Ned heads from Reaction Tackle. Now the thing is with my dad is he's never really been a big artificial lure guy at all.
Oh, okay.
It's always been live bait with him, like mainly shiners, night crawlers, mealworms, stuff like that. And it doesn't matter the type of fishing. Like he's like, you can catch bigger fish on bait or you can get, whatever it is. I'm like, you're not wrong. But I'm like, for me, it's that challenge of like, this is not a natural occurring forage here. Like I'm going to try to trick this fish into doing that. I'm like, for me, that's just a, regular thing. And the following September, we were going to Champlain. And this is one of the trips I had mentioned to you. And I was like, look, Dad, I go, we have a lodge that we're going to rent and we're going to stay up there. This is up by St. Albans. The Bass Cabin is what it's called. It's a great spot. So we go up there and I was like, I'd like to bring you up there. We're going up. I'm like, it's my birthday weekend. I'm like, there's a big tournament. The EKF finals were a championship was that week. Sean and Nelson were competing in it. We had a bunch of other friends that were going to be around. I'm like, this is going to be a blast. I was like, but you and I will go. And it happened to work out where the owner of Bass Cabin, Ian, was like, listen, my neighbors are having a little party. They're selling their house and it's going to be the last party of the summer. He's like, do you mind if I come up for the party and crash on the couch? I was like, it's your place, dude. We're just staying there. I'm like, yeah, absolutely you can. He's like, look, man, you're the best. I appreciate it. He goes, I'll tell you what, I'm going to take my boat up. And at the time he had this nice Bass Cat. He's since upgraded the boat even, but he had this really nice Bass Cat. He's like, if you want to come up and fish, he's like, I'll gladly play guide for the day. I was like, all right, beautiful. Well, I mean, Nelson and Sean, they were in this tournament. They're like, we got our kayaks. That's what we're doing. I tell my dad, I was like, look, you and I were going out with a guide. This is going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So we went out. Janelle, this man outfished all of us on that boat with one EWG rigged Guggen Rattling Ned in PB&J. He outfished all of us. Like, I had an amazing day. Ian had an amazing day. But my father caught more tank largemouth than he's ever caught before. Did he catch any smallies? He might have. I'll have to go back through the pictures. And it was just absolutely amazing. Like, he just had the day of his life. Chop was ridiculous. I mean, it was insane. There's a video, and I'll send it to you. There's a video where I'm in the bitch seat of the Bass Cat. My dad is in between myself and Ian, and like, I've got water coming up over this is September. Like, it's cold. The wind is blowing. Oh, yeah. I'm there and I'm just getting like water in the face. My dad's like, how's things? And I'm like, that's great. It's just fucking awesome. Fishing with family is so important. Andrew from Tackle Talk just did his episode recently about New Year's resolutions. And he was like, fishing with the right people is important. Taking time to fish with the people that are your close friends, your family, go out there and do that. Make it a point to do that. And I wholeheartedly agree. I think that's super important. That's awesome.
I said, seeing my mom, so my dad's been going to the same place in Vermont since like right before I was born. So like the 80s, I believe. Yeah. Like the first picture of me there, I was like 6 months old.
Oh,
like,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was established.
Yes. There was even a point where we thought they were going to sell it because they couldn't keep up with the financials, but luckily they passed it down to their granddaughter and it's still rolling. So it's amazing.
That's awesome.
But my mom, she'll go with us. And like, for the most part, she's reading and she's like taking long walks while we're out during the day. She's not a morning person.
Of course. Yeah.
But at night, she gets her rod. She gets her, oh my God, we got her a pink tackle box. We put little cheetah spots on it. We got her like a bunch of lures that are pink or purple.
That's awesome.
And we got her a purple rod last year. And she outfished my dad and my cousin. This was the first year my wife and I were on our own boat.
Yep.
But my dad, her, and my cousin, and like they'd be all throwing shallow and she'd just be like, go and rock and turn around and cast out deep and would catch a 4-pounder. And this is my mom. I think I got one. Frank got one. And you just see this big fish on the surface. And everyone's just like, shit, how does she do it? And she just wants to cast and reel.
Yeah.
Or a popper. She gets really good with a popper because she can see what she's doing.
Yep. That I think
But it's the
top
sweetest
water like
thing.
that.
Like my mom is not a huge outdoorsy person, but my dad found somebody who, yin to your yang, but who will also try it and like supports him, and it's adorable. And
That's
like
awesome.
she outfished everybody except me last year.
I love that. That is so awesome. It's those kind of stories I think that are just absolutely huge. I love this. Janelle, this is great. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me.
I want to see your content just explode, your podcast take off. Do yourself a favor. Do me a favor as well and promote yourself a little bit. Let folks know where they can get in contact with you, where they can see your content, where they can listen to all that stuff. Chance for you to kind of promote yourself. Go for it.
Okay, so if you want to check out my content, both my social media, like my Instagrams and my YouTube pages, have the same name. So we've got Enthusiast Adventurer. That's where you're going to find the podcast, which is the Adventures Audible podcast. And you're going to find everything there that has to do with the outdoors. I love airsoft, hunting, fishing, bushcraft, all of that stuff. We're going to have guests on. We're going to do giveaways. That's really something that I'm putting my heart and soul out into 2024. The Enthusiast Adventure YouTube channel is all of that just in video form. There's going to be some really cool series coming out, some catch and cooks, a fun new kayak rig set up, all of that stuff. So if you're into the outdoors, check that channel out. If you want to see my wife and I go and do all of the crazy fun travel things and living out of our bus, you can go on the Jerry's World channel. That's JERRIS World. And you can follow our journey and you can support us that way. And it's just going to be really great. That's just my life poured out behind the camera, vlog style. There might be a big docuseries with this big trip. Who knows? But if you want to see that content as well, you can check that out. And then the social medias are the same for both. Go and check me out. Follow me. And also, Bobby, thank you. I don't know how to say thank you enough. I reached out to you and like that was the start of the dream. That was the start of like, okay, I love this guy. I love what he's doing. I want to do this. Let's just, cast the line out and see what happens. And we've hooked up and you've been a really great person, great mentor, someone to talk and bounce ideas with and a role model. So please keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it so much.
I for sure will. I think when you guys are out doing your adventures in the bus and everything, you got to make it a point to do fall in New England. Do yourself a favor and do fall in New England. I'm telling you, it is amazing. The fishing is dynamite. The view is insane. Specifically Berkshire County along that New York border. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, that's like my neck of the woods. This is where that's where I escape the urban jungle that's Holyoke, and I go out that way to kind of get some fresh air. It is absolutely amazing. Like, trust me, you guys will love it. Get into Vermont, New Hampshire, eat the good food, all that stuff. You're going to love it. Yeah. It's awesome.
My wife's also a great cook. So I made sure that I have the mini fridge and our microwave is a convection oven and a mini fridge. So she can do bacon, cook. We can do everything we need to do on the water. So she's like, you can go out and do your adventures and I'll cook for you. And I was like, so I will. I love breakfast. So I'll make breakfast and coffee, get the morning started. And then if you want to finish off the day, it's going to be great.
Again,
I'm so excited.
It's all together. I love that. Janelle, thank you so much. You're absolutely awesome. I wish you nothing but the best of luck with all your endeavors. I think you're absolutely going to kill it. You got the right energy and that ADHD sort of dialed into all the stuff. Make it work for you. I believe in you. You got this.
Thank you so much. Means the world to me, Bobby.
I love it. We'll keep talking. But as far as this segment's concerned, guys, we will see you with much more right after this. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Jigs and Bigs, guys. Amazing interview with Janelle. Again, this was an interview that was actually supposed to happen a couple of weeks in the future. And I was supposed to actually travel down to her area in southern New Jersey, that New Jersey, Pennsylvania sort of area, and do some fishing and do a little camping and stuff. Unfortunately, did not work out. But I think it actually worked out for the best because we got this interview and she's on episode 201, which is just freaking awesome. Speaking of episode 201, this is the signal that you know we made it. Like we're at episode 201 right now. We spent our weekend celebrating with some amazing friends and just folks that we've gotten the opportunity to meet and get close with in the fishing community, and it's been absolutely amazing. It's been really, I mean, honestly, it is exactly the reason why I do all of this stuff. I love the fishing community the most, and I think it's fantastic. It was really, really great. Joe and Sean are obviously not here. I'm recording this on Monday morning after, I've had some time to process the big show, the live event, really the source of a lot of the stress that I've had the past handful of weeks. And now that it's past us, man, I feel amazing. I am still all caught up in my feels. You guys are so supportive, both coming out to see the live shows, but then also coming out and showing support online as well, joining the raffle and stuff. We had a bunch of online winners, which is great. I was really, really excited about that because, I knew that this was bigger than just being in the room, and I kind of wanted to do something to try to bridge the gap. So going forward, that's ultimately what's going to happen. But I have, I want to kind of surmise what this last endeavor kind of was and everything. And we are extremely thankful. There's a couple of sides to this that we'll talk some more about later. But for right now, we want to end on a really, really amazing note and just let you guys know we appreciate you more than you realize. You are amazing friends and supporters of what we're doing here at Jigs and Bigs. And we truly do appreciate you guys. This goes for our partners, goes for the jig heads, goes for the casual listener, goes for the folks that just follow us on social media and aren't even necessarily aware that we host a weekly podcast that is pretty fucking awesome, if I'm being honest. I just want to say thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart. The Beef Boy is... He feels the love, and I appreciate that. I think it's really great. Moving forward, I want to go ahead and throw this out there and let you guys know. I have been talking with some friends, and a lot of these friends were friends that weren't able to make it. Things had changed out of the last minute, or maybe like with this episode, one of the things that we learned, or this mile marker, was that this ticket was too high price of a ticket to be able to make happen and make accessible for everybody. So I think we're going to make a couple of changes. Going forward, to be honest, this first one is a little bit selfish, but I hate having to wait a couple of years in order to get to like the next, like the 300th episode. I would like to do this actually a little bit more often and make it a little bit more affordable. So what I think is going to happen is this. We're going to start putting on the calendar a Jigs and Bigs holiday party annually. It's something that we'll shoot to go ahead and do. It's a great reason to try to do it. And it's also a really great time of year because it doesn't really affect anybody's fishing abilities or plans. So, I mean, it's a crapshoot in December if we're going to have ice locally. So folks may not even be out ice fishing if we, actually get like a decent winter. So I think it actually would be a great time to go ahead and do it. It's just one more event to kind of put in the mix of stuff that you've got going on that time, but it'll be a whole lot of fun. And I think we're going to bring back some of the vibes that we had in the 100th episode, and maybe downsize like the food aspect quite a bit, because I mean, as amazing as it was, and it was just something that we wanted to try, we checked that box and we tried it. So we know that going forward, we're going to be making some changes to make things a little bit more accessible, a little bit more reasonable. And we're going to have ourselves a good time with it. It's going to be really, really fun. In fact, it's probably looking like I'm going to make plans now to hopefully target and be in the old venue for the 100th episode, the private banquet hall over at Nathan Bill's. So we'll still be in the Pioneer Valley. We'll still be local to us. So that should be pretty awesome. So I think that's the plan probably moving forward. No, that definitely is a plan moving forward. We have just really we love when we get to do these get-togethers with you guys. It means the world to us. We love the community. The community and the camaraderie are really, at the end of the day, for all of us, that I think really does kind of come first. Like, you can catch an amazing fish and have a great day out on the water. And yeah, that's going to be a memory you're going to have forever. 100%. I'm not arguing about that at all. But I am telling you this much. The memories that you make with the people that you're out fishing when you catch that giant, yeah, that is like the icing on the cake. And that's kind of the big deal, you know. I mean, that's it. It really weighs in. It makes a big difference. Kind of adds to the story and the lore a lot. So it's good stuff. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm just kind of babbling at this point. You know, I really am. We're going to have another discussion about another side of wrapping up the 200th episode. That'll be coming in the future. Actually, next episode, you guys are going to hear some shit. And it's not awesome. But we're going to go, well, we'll handle that next week. But for this week, thank you. We appreciate you. You guys, our listeners, our followers, subscribers, the jig heads, our partners. You guys are awesome. And we love you. And we couldn't do this without you. So until then, go ahead and have yourself an amazing week, everybody. We will see you in 7 days from now with episode 202 of Jigs and Bigs, your favorite, and I believe as Armando from Bass Kayak and Beer said, your favorite entertainment and education podcast that makes you feel both smarter and stupider at the same time for listening. My friend, you put it in the best words possible. Have a great one, everybody. Like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
Bobby Roast Beef. This is Jabberhammer, aka Jabber Camper. I'm camping, sitting by the fire, drinking White Claw Surge. Only wishing I could be there for the 200th celebration, but I can't. But here I am, sending you a message now, showing the fishermen, I love you. You're sexy. Joe, whoever your last name is, you sound like somebody named, I can't remember his name. I think it's Zach. I don't know. But anyway, it's really Yankee. And Bobby Roast Beef, we're meeting soon. You know what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to shave your ass like a really good roast beef sandwich. And we're going to have a good time. I love you guys. Hey-oh.